selection to deliver, meaning less time to dealership. That competition means everyone pays the same. No hidden fees, no negotiable.
Your way, 1% upfront pricing. Thomas Automotive, where it's all about why you.
Premier Garage Flooring and Storage Solutions is ready to transform your garage into a clean and efficient space. Our epoxy garage floor coatings and Premier crack tiles produce a rugged, long-lasting, and seamless surface and comes with a 10-year warranty. Let's not stop there. Our design team will declutter the space with efficient storage for your tools, yard equipment, and outdoor fun. Call us today to get organized. Reclaim your wasted space. Premier Garage, serving Central PA.
I'm looking to start with Belvedere Road in Phillipsburg, and I need your list. They have the perfect gift for anyone special. Their Kimber will be visiting the line for jewelry and carry purses for your mom, and maybe even a flashlight.
The college football playoff is now officially set with Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State, your top four. One will play 4, 2 will play 3 in the Peach and Fiesta Bowl, respectively, on New Year's Eve. So the Dogs and the Buckeyes and the Wolverines and Horned Frogs will take on one another. Winners to advance to play each other in the national championship game in about a month from now. But in the meantime, we have NFL here today. We'll have the Pittsburgh Steelers and Atlanta Falcons. Normally, yes, would also be watching the other game on in the area at 1 o'clock as the Steelers-Falcons about to kick off on CBS. So the Fox game would, in fact, be Titans-Eagles, let alone Washington, New York, with the Redskins football team turned Commanders taking on the Giants. But we're going to be watching Pittsburgh and Atlanta along with the college football playoff rankings, and then to see, of course, who's also going to be selected for the rest of the New Year's Six bowl games, and get them the other bowl games that are also going to be set by them today as well. FYI, though, I did update my phone the other day. Of course, stream off that to begin with. And now, for whatever reason, the Do Not Disturb that I always put on while I stream is not working correctly. So if you hear any buzzing coming in during the stream, I don't know if it's going to pick up or not, but just throwing it out there. It'll be notifications coming through, and while there's one right there, so I don't know if it would have picked up or not, but that's the game start for the Steelers and Falcons. Of course, 7-second delay from being live, and then, of course, to what we see on TV. But, yeah. Pittsburgh, coming off of a win last Monday night at Indy, looking for their first 2-game winning streak since last year. So I said last week, okay, you won here, but every time you've won already this year at 4-7, you've lost the following week. So how do they keep it up, keep going forward, rather than take a step back? Kenny Pickett coming off of his first road win as a Steelers starting quarterback last week. They were up 16-3, almost blew it. Had to come back and find a way to win. The defense held it down for him, of course, on top of that too. So notifications still rolling in because, once again, Do Not Disturb on my end as I updated my phone. For whatever reason, is now not working correctly, so I'm still going to figure that out. Normally, before it was one button here, one button there, and maybe one more, turn this off, turn this off, turn this off. But now it's, for whatever reason, more difficult. They make shit that way for whatever reason. It's like, why can't it be easier? It's life, I get it, but fucking Do Not Disturb on a phone, for God's sakes. Like, come on, Apple. As yes, I do have an iPhone rather than Samsung with a Galaxy or Some people still have flip phones, for God's sakes. But those, of course, are your two main cell phone providers, if you will, for makes. But in the meantime, we got a football game to be played. So I'll shut the hell up about this or that. Pittsburgh back deep to receive. So Atlanta kicks off. We're in their old school black logo uniforms with a red helmet. And this is the first meeting with these two teams dating back to 18. They play once every 4 years. It's AFC North versus NFC South. And Pittsburgh's won 3 of 4 dating back 20 years to when they tied in 2002. The first ever NFL game I ever remember watching. So, 1st and 10 for the Steelers here from the 25-yard line. Yeah, Najee banged up last week. Abdominal injury. He gets 6 yards on that run. Hopefully he'll be a full participant today. Jalen Warren also back, I might add, as well for the Steelers after missing last week's game. They really don't have anybody inactive today. They're honestly, for the first time since the start of the year, at full 100% capacity with the health status of this player or that player. So 2nd and 4, another give to Najee Harris, and it'll be 3rd and short. But Pittsburgh back-to-back road games on a short week. A winnable game here today as well, as Pittsburgh's about a 1-point favorite. Just take it for what it's worth. So, no doubt about it, expect a close game. So we'll see what it gives. Of course, that's why I play the game. It's not on paper, it's not on the field, but I'm sure there's always something will give. They give to Derek Watt on 3rd and short, and the Steelers get the first down here on the opening drive of the game. And now, hopefully, you would have to think they'd do something off of this 3 consecutive run plays that they've ran, and maybe take a shot, allow Pickett to open it up, and get the ball to his receivers, whether that be Deontay Johnson to George Pickens, and even Pat Freiermuth at tight end, who I still once again think they need to get the ball to a little bit more. But Pickett looking to throw in the meantime. It'll be caught by Deontay Johnson at the 42, dancing around, and he does dive forward and get about 8 yards. So it'll be 2nd and short again, 2nd and manageable for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But as Deontay Johnson, for the most part, this year, of course, coming off of a big extension in the offseason, worth it. That's a conversation for a different day. Makes a catch there. So, all right, he needs to quit, going east-west, turn up field and go north-south. But Pittsburgh is 2nd and 3 officially. They fake the give from the 45-yard line. Pickett gonna go deep, 1 and 2, and then he gets hit late and it's incomplete. So just as he got rid of it, he was hit and it's incomplete. So 3rd down and 3. Yeah, he wanted to go deep down the middle of the field. I don't know if he had anybody open by any means. Here's a better shot of that. Yeah, he had Pickens one-on-one on a deep post down the middle of the field, and a little bit of jump ball right at the goal line, but incomplete as he was hit. So 3rd down and 3 for Pittsburgh from the 45-yard line. And complete Pat Freiermuth to the 45, 1st and 10 Steelers. So as Pittsburgh's 4 and 7, Atlanta's 5 and 7. They're still in contention for the NFC South, but as Pittsburgh got swept by the AFC East this year, the NFC division they play is in fact the NFC South, and they've already swept the Bucs and the Saints, and they still got to play the Panthers in 2 weeks' time. So they were winless against the AFC East, lost to the Patriots, Jets, Bills, and Dolphins, but they've beaten both the Bucs and Saints, and at Atlanta today, and then at Carolina in 2 weeks. So winnable game once again. Here they got a flag on the play, false start, 5 yards. They'll replay the down. If they take care of business, maybe get some help towards the end of the season, because who the hell knows what's going to happen. It's the NFL, for God's sake. Still 6 games to be played for everyone. If they can take care of business, I think they might be all right still. But it's going to start up front, and they're going to have to be able to run the football. Pickett's going to have to make some plays, and defensively, the Steeler defense, because they've lost more than they've won already this year. As Pickett, 1st and 15, complete inside the 30. Steven Sims at wide receiver, who got banged up late last week as well. Early in last week's game at Indy, and then as the game progressed, as they traded Chase Claypool a month ago at the deadline, really it's Deontay Johnson and George Pickens at receiver. I'm going to go hurry up, but we got a stoppage and a timeout. Atlanta's actually going to challenge the catch. So the previous play isn't further review. They're going to find instant evidence to return it. We'll see if they have that or not. But here's a replay. Sims with the catch there. Ball might have hit. And that might get overturned. That might be a winnable challenge for Atlanta. That might be incomplete in 2nd and 15. When we come back, rather than the 1st and 10, the 28-yard line. But no, they're sort of only down, and Sims is that next guy to step up, it seems like. Because Boykin was out last week. And, Anthony Miller and Calvin Austin been out all year. Get rid of Claypool. It's Deontay Johnson and George Pickens as your 1-2 punch at receiver. You have a 1-2 punch, when healthy, with Najee Harris and Jalen Warren as well at running back. But, Warren was out last week. Hopefully, he'll be bulldozing people over again today. Najee had a couple good runs there early. They've sort of already abandoned the run game, gone pass heavy since. But last week, even Benny Snell and Tony McFarland, made some plays as well. And, Pittsburgh 3 straight games now. Hopefully they'll make it 4 today with a consistent running game. Able to run the football, and it helps out Kenny Pickett. He doesn't have to do everything himself. But then Sims, honestly, truly is your number 3 receiver. Him and Gunner also have duty in the return game, but truly, it's Pat Freiermuth down the middle of the field. So they got the ball to him once there, 1st down. That pass was caught by Sims. As they say, catch on the field. Atlanta challenges, so they'll have to find this bit of evidence to overturn it. But yeah, just move the ball downfield, make some plays, and keep them on edge, back them up on their heels. Just take care of business once again, and you'll be all right. If you can beat the Bucs and the Saints, you should be able to go to Atlanta and beat the Falcons, let alone the Panthers in 2 weeks and beat them. So you might go winless against the AFC East, but you should go undefeated against the NFC South. But they still got, a game here to be played today and in 2 weeks. And then, the Raiders come in on Christmas Eve night, but then it's divisional. They've already split with the Bengals. They lost the Browns. They play them again in Week 18, but they still got to play the Ravens twice. So you're telling me there's still a chance? Yes, I'm telling you there's still a chance. So call on the field was a catch, but the call's overturned. Atlanta wins the challenge. It's incomplete rather than a catch, and a Steeler 1st down at the 28-yard line. It's incomplete. They'll back it up to the previous spot, midfield 50, 2nd and 15 for the Pittsburgh offense. And dump off Jalen Warren to the 42. So they'll have a 3rd down here. 3rd and medium. So just keep giving yourself a chance. That's all I ask. Take what the defense gives you and just help score some points. The most points they've scored in a win this year is 24. 30 overall, but that wasn't a loss. And the past couple weeks as well, I might add, you can't settle for 3. You got to score touchdowns rather than kick field goals. As Matthew Wright, still Pittsburgh's kicker with Boswell on IR. 3rd and 7, Pickett looking to throw down the middle, caught, 1st down. Pittsburgh, Pat Freiermuth again. Hell, he had 2 catches for the most part the whole entire fucking game last week. He has 2 catches on the opening drive today. So, 1st and 10. Now get this run game going again. You ran it 3 straight times, got a first down to begin the drive, and you've gone pass every single play since. Another first down or 2. Challenge and completion was overturned, but you still get the first down inside the 30 now. Get back to the run game. And then keep inching closer to the end zone, knock on the door, and, maybe go back to Pat Frymuth again. 3rd time's a charm, maybe for 6. So they will run at Najee Harris 1st and 10. And he gets to the 31. So it'll be 2nd and 7 again for Pittsburgh here. Oh, he did end up going to the hospital. Well, he's playing today and he seems fine, so whether they admitted him for an abdominal injury last Monday or not, he's past that now, and just hopefully nothing else, serious happens. Another handoff to Najee and 2 yards, maybe 3, and he keeps pushing, and he almost gets the Steelers first down. Be 3rd and about a half yard. Under 10 to play in this opening quarter, and Atlanta still has yet to touch football. So Pittsburgh here early, and rightfully so, just like they did last week. They're also controlling the clock in the meantime. They're on a 5+ minute drive right now from the 25 to 25, and they still got about 25 yards to go for 6. 3rd and 1, they sneak at first down Pittsburgh. So keep it up. Run the ball, control the clock, score some points, put the pressure on them, not yourself, and make stops on defense, and shorten the game. And make sure you have momentum on your side. Now's the perfect time to go back to Pat Frymuth. 1st and 10 from inside the 20. You hit a post of some sort over the middle to him, as he'll be top of your screen. But then Pickett gets sacked, so they got a 2nd and long now, back 29-yard line. Yeah, all right, 8-1-4 and counting to play in this first. Should hand it off to Najee Harris. He still would have at least got a couple yards rather than, get sacked. So a bad read by the 8-ball, but okay, 2nd and 15, which they've had already on this drive. Yeah, they've taken up half the first quarter. Connor Hayward in motion. And Kenny Pickett looking to throw. Far side, incomplete, 10 for Pickens. And guess what they're going to have to do on this drive? They're going to settle for 3. They got 3rd and 15 coming up, but I can already see it. Matthew Wright, you might want to get ready, man. And of course, Najee Harris limping. I'm going to Frymuth. I am. But 3rd and 15, you just want to try to make this, field goal a little bit short if you can. You don't want to take another sack like you did last week, and then you're out of field goal range. And that was, of course, capitalizing off the first turnover then, too, and you couldn't do anything with it. So 3rd and 15, looking to throw. Over the middle, into the dirt, incomplete. So they'll have to kick the field goal about the 28-yard line. So about a 45, 46-yard field goal for Matthew Wright. So they take up half the first quarter there. They almost go the distance, but then the drive stalls. Yeah, that's just a bad pass. But can't settle for 3 all the damn time. I'll take the points now. Of course, I'm not about it. It's early, but you still can't be forced to settle for 3. 46-yard field goal. They've made a habit out of it in the past, 2 weeks. Kick's going to be up and good, though. Just barely. Doinked it in rather than out. And the kick's up and good. 3-0 Steelers. So shooters roll, kickers bounce. And yeah, it was looking like it was looking wide, right? And then it snuck in and then doinked in. So kicks up and good, 3-0 Steelers. Landon getting the ball here for the first time now. We'll hit the reset button here in a second. But once again, just FYI, if you're any buzzing with today's stream, with notifications rolling in, for whatever reason, the Do Not Disturb on iPhone has changed, and it's not the same as it was. And with me updating my phone to the latest update, I still haven't figured it out. But this is the first time I might add, since I updated as well. But it shouldn't be that hard. Normally it's one button here, one button there. Turn this off, turn that off, as mentioned. But now it's you got to do a million things to turn it off for something that used to be easy, but I guess they just want to make it harder on us for whatever reason. And then rather than watching 2 games, let alone 3, here this NFL Sunday, 1 o'clock window, we're only watching 1. It's Steelers Falcons. In the meantime, we're also watching the College Football Playoff Selection Show. As the playoff rankings, at least 1 through 6, have been revealed. And like I said, 1 through 4 for the playoff semis, or the Peach Bowl and Fiesta Bowl, have been revealed. Georgia, Michigan, TCU, Ohio State. Georgia plays Ohio State, Michigan plays TCU on New Year's Eve. But we're awaiting, in a little over an hour from now, the rest of the New Year's 6 bowl games to be announced, as that should be about 2:30, right around halftime of these NFL 1 o'clock games. So, as always, coming to halftime, we'll have first half stats and scores. We'll take a look at what's going on around the league, and then we'll go from there. But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in and listening. So, back from break, and see how the Steeler defense now plays today. TJ Watt, quiet game last Monday night. They had, once again, in the back end, with Millette and Pierre making plays. These linebackers, though, Miles Jack, Devin Bush, at least in the middle field, they need to step the hell up. They really haven't done, that much all season long. Okay, tackles here and there, and they total up, but, big play every once in a while, no. We'll just have to see how this game goes. But offensively, they can't settle for 3 like they, have gotten used to recently, and then have to on that opening drive as well. That's what has made the games closer than they've been, whether they've won or lost. And when they've lost, they very well could have won if those field goals are touchdowns. But I'll digress. We'll move on. And 1st and 10, Atlanta from the 21. Marcus Mariota, former Heisman Trophy winner. Pass complete, 1st down. Falcons. And Sutton with the tackle. Yeah, him and Witherspoon, up until, he's been out recently. Levi Wallace been playing well to an extent. It's Millette and Pierre overall, with Minka, of course, in the back end, making plays. Because it's Cam Hayward in the middle, TJ Watt coming off the edge, and Minka Fitzpatrick in the back. That's the Steeler defense as a whole, with everything else, filled in, as Devin Bush pushed them out of bounds after about a 2, maybe 3-yard gain. So 2nd and 7 here for Atlanta. They're going to try to tie this game up, let alone take a lead. But 3-0 Steelers. 6:26 and counting to play in this opening quarter. And we'll see who makes some stops on D here for Pittsburgh. But just don't blow this game. Don't lose it. One of the most winnable games you have left, and you have a few of those. So once again, if you think take care of business, maybe get some help, I think they'll still be okay and, in the hunt. Whether they make the playoffs or not, they can only once again afford only one more loss and then have to win out to have a winning record. And they haven't had a losing season since 03, a year after these two teams tied in 02. So, and Pittsburgh's won 3 of 4, dating back to that tie 20 years ago, I might add, as mentioned. But empty set, 1st and 10 from 42. Mariota over the middle, incomplete. Sutton on the coverage. So, yeah, Cam Sutton's covering Drake London, the rookie receiver from SC, who would, I might add, be in the College World Playoff, but they lost Friday night, opening the door for the Buckeyes, which, as mentioned in the past, if both Michigan and Ohio State would make the College World Playoff, Penn State would be going to Pasadena and playing the Rose Bowl, and that should be official in about an hour from now. But 2nd and 10, Alex Highsmith coming off the edge with TJ Watt. The handoff, though, and they get to midfield, 3rd and 2. There's a late flag coming in. Maybe a defensive hold. See what Ron Torbert has to say. Got a hold on the offense. 10 yards, I'll replay it down. So 2nd and 20. All right. But Cam Sutton here early, playing Drake London. For the most part, pretty damn good. You know, they have Kyle Pitts at tight end. And, you know, Atlanta, first year without Matt Ryan. They went from Mike Vick to Matt Ryan now to Marcus Mariota over the, course of the past 20 years, 25 years. I mean, that's pretty damn good. You know, Matt Ryan was, the centerpiece of the team. And at times, yeah, they went deep into the playoffs. Hell, they went to the Super Bowl the one year, blew a 28-3 lead, but that's neither here nor there. And as Pittsburgh is mentioned at 4 and 7, Atlanta's in contention for their division, for God's sakes, at 5 and 7. So this is a winnable game for them, today as well. Like I said, Steelers are a 1-point favorite. It's basically a pick 'em. 3rd and 15, got a flag. False start, they'll back them up. 3rd and 20. So whether they just, gain 5 yards on that last play or not, they're going to back them up again. And hey, you still got about 20 yards to go for first down. So 3rd and 20 for Atlanta here. But under 5 to play, Steeler Nation in full force. So a lot of terrible towels as always. They travel extremely well. Maybe a few Steeler fans are also Georgia or LSU fans, for that matter. The SEC Championship game yesterday in Atlanta. From the 32, dump off, and Pittsburgh's defense will get off the field and force a punt. And this, I might add, is the first time the Steelers are playing in this new Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. As that opened recently, but the last time the Steelers played at the Falcons was mid-December in 2014. So it's, once every 8 years for the crossover. Then, of course, now it might be a little earlier with that extra adding game, but you play each other once every 4 years, and then home or away, depending on where you want to start. Atlanta punt, going to be fair caught by Pittsburgh, and then muffed the 15-yard line. Oh, God damn it. Okay, he recovered. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh from the 14. They luck out, but yeah, Pittsburgh hasn't been to Atlanta since 14. So they'll take a break. Just control the clock like you did. Once again, get this game midway through the second quarter by the time they get the ball back, and hopefully the 6-10 lead. Pressure's on them to do something when they just went backwards the whole entire opening drive there. Penalties. So no turnovers. Can't be turning the ball over today either. So, we'll see if Pittsburgh can win, 2 straight. They've lost at least 2 straight, a couple of different times already this year, but they haven't won 2 straight since last year. And coming off of a win against Cincinnati, they lost in a game they should have won. When they beat Tampa, they then lost to Miami in a game they also should have won. Recently, as they've won 2 of 3, coming off the bye, beat New Orleans, and then lost to the Bengals. They split with Cincinnati in the division in a game they should have won 2 weeks ago. And then last Monday night they win. Almost blew it, but here we are today. So you just got to keep it going. You can't do something, good and then take a step back. You seriously got to keep pounding the rock, run the damn ball. Pickett's going to have to make some plays. We'll pull up some stats here in a minute. It's 3-0, not a whole lot's going on. The Steelers defense looked pretty damn good there on the opening drive. Can't ask for much else. Gave up a couple of plays, which you're going to give up anyway, but they got the hell off the field and forced a punt. And, you almost turned it over with the muff punt, but of course you got to go the distance, but you want the distance to kick the field on the opening drive, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but you just got to keep going. You have momentum, you have rhythm, you just got to put it all together now and, do something with it. So, we'll see if they can or not, and then we'll go from there. But, like I said, just don't lose this game. One of the most winnable games all year for that matter, but let alone now looking ahead, plus a few more. Take care of business, they'll be all right. But, until then, they still got this game to be played. So, one play, one drive, one game at a time. Run the damn ball. Open the play action. They wanted to go deep, but then he was hit and fell incomplete. Keep getting the ball to Freiermuth. They don't get him the ball enough. But even with the O-line having a false start, both teams have penalties, yes. Pickett going to roll out, and then he's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to dive head first for 8 yards, and 2nd and short for Pittsburgh here. But just, you got to keep going, okay? The offensive line hasn't looked that bad this year. At times, okay, they've been, knocked around, but I thought they've looked bad. So, control line of scrimmage, control the clock, control the game with the run game. Force them with the pressure into forcing mistakes. Hopefully we can capitalize off with them, and we'll go from there. One thing at a time. Just see how this game plays out. Play clock winds down. Hand off Najee Harris. Going to bounce it. Gets the first down. And then down to the 29. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh. So, where's that type of running been at by Najee all season long? But there it is, finally, for the most part. Just keep going. Nice stiff arm. Sit your ass down. But as mentioned, when him and Jalen Warren have been healthy, a good 1-2 punch, bulldozing their way downfield, and then take some shots. That's when the offense is for the most part clicking on all cylinders. 1st and 10 out of the eye, and they'll hand off, fake the give actually, Najee Harris. Pump fake, roll out by Pickett, and then he's going to throw complete to Derek Watt for about 3, maybe 4 yards. Right in front of Mike Tomlin. And they'll the 2nd down and about 6, maybe 7. Yeah, they've been getting Derek Watt more involved the past couple games. Run and receiving game there. So, 2nd and 7 here. Trip, stop your screen out of the gun. 2nd and 7 for Pittsburgh from 31. They run a end around. Steven Sims, 1st down, Pittsburgh. So, just keep this drive alive. Don't do anything stupid. Keep moving the ball. Atlanta defensively, without a couple guys in the middle of the field at backer and in the secondary, I might add as well. And then with an offensive and defensive lineman or playmaker, receiver, but except Pittsburgh today, Benny Snell on the give. Hey, 1, 2, 3, maybe of 4-man backfield. Why the hell not? We're gonna have an update first of the afternoon. Washington and New York, 3-0 Skins, and then a passing touchdown. Washington's up now 10 on the Giants at the end of the first quarter, 10-0. So 3-0 Pittsburgh here at Atlanta. We'll update some more stats and scores in a little bit, but 2nd and 6 in the meantime for Pittsburgh. Trips on a bunch near side. Pickett complete. Deontay Johnson, another Pittsburgh Steeler first down. Keep moving the damn football. I like it. 1st and 10. Clock will run. They will have to snap it. Play clock's a second under the game clock at 27-28. Now 20-21. So 1st and 10. They'll have to snap it here. Why not take a shot? They'll run it though, yeah. Benny Snell up the middle. And they'll have a second and about 4, maybe 5 at the 40 to begin the second. So they're up 3 at the end of 1, 3-0 Steelers. They've controlled the clock here already again today, which is a good thing. Officially, in the first 15, Pittsburgh's had the ball for 10 minutes. And they have, 3 points, and they're driving again. 7 first downs, 21 plays to Atlanta's 7. And then the punt by the Falcons. And they're balanced, which I like as well. Balance and consistency. Run to pass, pass to run, do whatever the hell you're going to do. Just move the ball and score. 45 yards passing for Pickett and 47 total yards rushing for the Steelers between himself, along with Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, and now Benny Snell. So 3-0 at the end of 1. Steelers lead the Falcons. Bills beat the Patriots on Thursday night, 24-10. And then ongoing around the league right now at 1 o'clock is in fact, as we await for this to reload, with this game being counted 2, 4, 6, 8 1 o'clock games right now. Still Seahawks, Rams, Dolphins, 49ers, Chargers, Raiders, and Chiefs, Bengals to kick off at 4. Colts, Cowboys, Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football tomorrow night, Saints, Buccaneers, with Cardinals and Panthers on byes. But it's 3-0 here with Pittsburgh on top of Atlanta. The Bears are up 10-0 on their landlord and Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Lions leading the Jags 14-3. Jets and Vikings tied at 3. Washington, as mentioned with that update, 10-0 at New York. 7-7 with Tennessee and Philly. And then Denver at Baltimore. And Houston at home against the returning Deshaun Watson, starting for the first time this year, and I might add, for the Browns against his former team and the Texans. Denver leads Baltimore 3-0, and Houston leads Cleveland 3-0. So 3-0 as well. Pittsburgh on top of Atlanta, and they got a second down here to begin the second quarter. So once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cohen Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. The thumbs up button. Share hashtag NFL, hashtag Steelers, hashtag Falcons. Chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers, super likes, super thanks. Always greatly appreciated as well. And we'll see if it's going to be a tale of 2 quarters, tale of 2 halves, tale of 2 quarters and half of the third. 2nd and 4 handoff Najee Harris, and he stumbles inside the 30, but he gets the first down. So pushed out of bounds around 27, 1st and 10, Pittsburgh from there. But tack onto this lead and don't settle for 3. You got to score touchdowns. I'll take the 3 every once in a while. Just don't make a habit out of it, okay? But the point of that is they have made a habit out of it, though, unfortunately, the past couple games. Kicking field goals when they should be scoring touchdowns. 1st and 10. And Pickett going to hand off again to Najee Harris, and he's going to lose 2 yards, so 2nd and 12. But, I mean, you're in field goal range. You got to kick it. Drive stalls. Okay, so be it. But still would like some more points to be scored rather than 3 and 3 and 3. I get it'll add up, but yeah. 2nd down and long here now for Pittsburgh after the loss. Benny Snell in the ball game. Pickett down the middle, a little too much for Freiermuth, incomplete. Would have had him in stride going into the end zone, but it falls incomplete. A little too much. 3rd down and 11. Hey, they're targeting him though, a couple more times than they normally would have at this point, so I'll take it. He was about a step behind, but the pass is a little too much. But he's put it where only his receiver can get it though too, so you just got to connect. You got to execute. 3rd and 11 from the 28. Empty set. Pickett. Come on, Deontay Johnson. You got to catch that. I don't care if it's a little high for you or not. You're literally right there. Wasn't a bullet. He put it, once again, right where his receiver could get it. He's wide open. And he drops it back to being brick hands. My God, you got to fucking catch that. 4th down, and Pittsburgh going to have to kick another fucking field goal. What's new? Matthew Wright once again from 46 again. He's already good from 46 in the first quarter. This is the other end of the end zone, though. We'll see if he doinks this one in and up and good or not. Well, yeah, he's not going to have to doink it up and to be good by any means because it's right down the middle, so it is good, and it's 6-0 Steelers with 13:34 to play in the first half, and we'll get back to the action momentarily as we'll hit the reset button and get on track here. But yeah, with Pittsburgh and Atlanta today, just hopefully they can find a way to win this. I mean, they're up 6-0 when it could be, a max of 14 or anywhere in between, for that matter. Could have nothing, so tied at 0, so take it for what it's worth and take it while it can. But just frustrating to go sell for 3 on this drive, that drive, and seemingly every drive. But is what it is. What can you do? Eventually, they got to punch it in for 6. I mean, they're averaging about 20 points a game. They're 4-7. Okay. Atlanta offensively, though, they can score, yes, but they're not really that good. They're not. They're 5-7. It's okay. Yeah, Pittsburgh has one less win, but they both have the same amount of losses because Atlanta hasn't had their bye yet. But I think Pittsburgh figured out, hey, and it's like, well, why haven't they been doing this all year? But that, hey, we can run the football, and hopefully it's a good running game. We can also control the clock and, have it game being our favor on our side, pressure on them, and so on and so forth, and go from there. Just don't do anything stupid. I don't know why it took them this long, to get to this point, or to figure that out for that matter, but it has, because just up until recently, they haven't been able to run the football. let alone control the clock. And, okay, they're still scoring about as many points as they have been, but still, like, you don't want to be playing from behind. You don't. But that's just how they play. They're either sucking ass, slow and steady from the start, not doing a damn thing, and then coming back late. And it might be good, might be bad, win or loss at that point. But then as Pittsburgh kicks off, have a return to the 25-yard line, 1st and 10 Atlanta. Or it's they, do what they're doing again today like they did last week. A little in the week before. They have a lead early and at halftime, and then they're trying not to blow it in the second half. So, yeah, well, we'll see how this defense plays again, but offensively they have 6 points on 2 field goals from 46 yards out. Out of the pistol, Mariota from the 26, going to hand off. TJ Watt with a missed tackle. And then they get out past 45 for a 20-plus yard run. And then Micah Fitzpatrick ends up bringing them down. Yeah, just a couple of missed tackles there by Pittsburgh defensively. And then, Minka and along with Levi Wallace and Devin Bush potentially on the stop. 1st and 10 Atlanta. From the 46, handoff once again, 3-yard run for Tyler Algier. From Mormon country in Provo, Utah. The black and gold and the Dirty Birds today on January the 2nd. It looks like it'll be the blue and white and the Utes. Also from UT. AH from Salt Lake City. 2nd and 7, but we'll find out in due time, officially. Mariota's pass complete. 1st down Atlanta. Of course, he plays college ball. Pac-10, Pac-12 out west with Oregon. Won the Heisman. Number 2 overall pick behind Jameis Winston in 15. And from Tennessee to the silver and black to now the Atlanta Falcons starting quarterback. He's 460, 43 yards passing here today, and has Atlanta 1st and 10 situation, 35-yard line, knocking on the door, looking to take a lead. Let alone cut it with a field goal of their own. So 6-0, pass over the middle, complete. London, and then Devontae KZ and Devin Bush make the tackle. So 1st and 10 Atlanta, though. First and 10 Atlanta from the 23. Out of the pistol, they hand off again, but Pittsburgh there to wrap them up. TJ Watt, Chris Wormley, but then 99, Larry Obi-Wan Kenobi, Obanjobi with the tackle. Pittsburgh, I might add as well, activated DeMarvin Leal off of IR. So he is active and also playing today, even though we haven't seen him yet. He's back after suffering an injury earlier this season. TJ Watt returned off the bye week almost a month ago now. Out of the pistol again, 2nd and 13. Mariota's pass has been almost picked off, incomplete. So 3rd and 13, but defensively they're not playing that bad yet, but we'll see here. Big sack would be nice. Get him out of field goal range, but Pratt's 7-3. Levi Wall's banged up on the play as well. Him and Minka hit shoulder to shoulder. So it's incomplete, 3rd and 13 for Atlanta, but an injury on the play. Hopefully he's okay. I mean, even, if he's gone and out for the rest of this game or however long, it seems like just a stinger. Tomlin's going to come out. They're going to take a TV timeout. Witherspoon, okay, he's been banged up as well, but off the inactive list. First time in quite a while. It goes back with Minka in the back end, and then Edmonds making some plays every once in a while. To Arthur Marlette and James Pierre. There's consistency there with those two that, need to make a play 9 times out of 10, they're going to make a stop for you. But then even Cam Sutton, and that's the thing, they had a couple turnovers last week, but there's been, I don't know how many games this year, they could have had so many more turnovers, and then if they would have capitalized, scored some points off of it, But they're 4-7. And like I said recently, they honestly should have at least 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 more wins than they have. So, flip the script with the record, reverse it. 7-4, 8-3, rather than 4-7, 3-7 going to last week, 3-8 with a loss, but they win. So. Or anywhere in between, for that matter. They're still in the hunt, and that's the thing. If they can take care of business, which they've won 2 or 3 coming off of a bye. They sit at 4-7, yes, but if they can take care of business moving forward. I thought 6-6 first time they played Baltimore. If you don't believe me, go check it out. Would be doable. Okay, they lose to Cincinnati, but 5-7, 1 last win, 1 more loss. Go to the Raven game next week potentially. Win that, or split with the Ravens. Win your other winnable games. Maybe get some up. You should be all right. You should be. Whether that makes the playoffs or winning record, we'll see. But they got to take care of business, and they got to be able to run the football and stop the run. Algier for Atlanta here to start this drive off at a 20-plus yard run. And now Mariota is starting to pick them apart a little bit. So this Steeler defense, after forcing a punt on the opening drive, you're going to have to, I guess it's still early, 10:05 to play in the half, but you do have a 6-0 lead when it could be a max of 14 or anywhere in between. Or nothing at all for that matter. Big 3rd down here. 3rd and 13 for Atlanta from the 25. He's got to make a stop. Mariota looking to throw, and they'll sack his ass back at the 34. Cam Hayward, along with Highsmith and Watt. 4th and a mile, and Atlanta's going to have to kick about a 50-yard field goal. And CBS freezes, but there we go. All right. And 34-44, about a 51-yard field goal. I'll say 52-53. Play clock at 5. Officially from 50. Thought so. Kicks up. Kick is good. So 6-3 with 9:15 to play in that. Pittsburgh going to get the ball back. You got to score touchdowns. You got to score touchdowns or than so for 3. Even as much as you're controlling the clock, you're still giving them time to come back and, do something. Whether that's now, and I guess still early, still a lot of ball left, but rather than late as well. But even with that, you're still giving them a chance when you don't need to be. So keep running the ball, keep trying to control the clock as much as you can. Don't let this game slip. I get it 6-3, but they got to score touchdowns rather than settle for 3. I'm telling you, because if this keeps up, it ain't gonna be pretty. Even with a win, and yeah, not necessarily always gonna be pretty. Win's a win at the end of the day, but just get out healthy. Just find a way to win this game. That's all I'll say right now. Just find a way to win this game. There's not much else to be said, so I'll leave it at that. Just, you know, and maybe the third drive coming up would be the charm. Score a touchdown, punch it in for 6, rather than kick 2 field goals. I mean, technically they do have a touchdown for 6 points, and then a missed extra point if you want to say that. But they've settled for 2 46-yard field goals. Got to score touchdowns. Got to score touchdowns, Pittsburgh. I mean, they could be so much more explosive offensively if they move the ball a little bit more downfield and have a more consistent running game. Which, okay, it's there at times, but once again, as long as you move the ball, you're scoring points, so it matters. But just as they do something good, they take a step back. They do something bad. They'll turn the ball over. You got to keep it up, all right? Keep going. Push forward. And add another win in the history books, but the first for the black and gold in this very stadium. So 6-3, 9:15 to play in the half. Pittsburgh getting the ball back. And we'll have a touchback, be 1st and 10 Steelers from the 25-yard line. Kenny Pickett looking to throw deep down the near sideline, intended and incomplete. Deontay Johnson on the target. Almost picked off, incomplete, 2nd and 10. Well, they've targeted him, but he doesn't have a catch. I can understand that. But then, you know, when he's trying to get the ball to Deontay Johnson because they're covering Pickens, but then he can't catch it either, then you got to go to Freiermuth, and, you know, he has a couple catches, then you have a decent running game, but then they don't, like, just keep getting first downs, keep moving the ball. They got a 3rd and about officially. Let's see what they say here. 3rd down and 4. So 3rd and medium. Just get the first down. Something to the 35 to 36-yard line. Gunner in motion. Pickett. Complete. Pat Freiermuth at the 40. Still going out past midfield. Inside the 30. 20. 15 down at the 12. 1st and 10 Pittsburgh. Thank fucking God they get the ball to 88. "57-yard catch and run. Work the sticks. Boom. Stiff arm. Good block there. Another stiff arm. He really blocked himself because Gunner just stood there. But First and 10, he'll come out for a play, but Pittsburgh, first and 10 from the 12. Now you got to capitalize off of a big play. All right? Of course, fucking flag. False start, 5 yards, I'll replay it down. So they went from Dan Moore having a false start to now Kevin Dotson having a false start. So the left side of the line. Next, it'll be the center. Next will be the right guard. Next will be the right tackle. It might be one of those fucking games they have a penalty on every goddamn lineman. But first and 15, Pittsburgh. But from the 17-yard line now, empty set. Pickett in the end zone. Caught, touchdown. Connor Hayward. Touchdown Steelers. And they finally hit pay dirt for 6 rather than have to settle for 3. 12-3. Kicked the extra point. 7:07. The play in the half. Yeah, Cam had a big sack. Connor with a touchdown, and against their dad's old team. That's a touchdown. 1-2. Control and possession. Finally getting him involved. And the extra point will be up and good. 13-3 Steelers. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because it's the same situation they were in last week. Okay? 16-3 at halftime. 13-3 right now. 7 minutes to play before half. So then they get shut out in the third quarter and then, got to make a play late. So take it. Touchdown. Pittsburgh. And they're finally getting fucking tight ends involved. Thank you. Of course, as Fryermuth's catch and run for 50-plus that got them in, this situation. And one play later, they scored. They did have a false start, backed them up, but then, gave them a little bit more room to just lob it up there for him and touchdown Steelers. So, good for Connor Hayward. Drafted him out of Michigan State this past year, playing with his brother Cam in the NFL. And they both are making some stops here against their dad's old team, the Falcons. But they're both playing for the Steelers in the same city, Ironhead played college ball, Pitt. So yeah, come full circle. Pittsburgh 13-3 here, 7 minutes to play in the first half. So defensively, back to making stops. You have them in a hole, now keep them there. Don't let them get out. And if they do try to get out, put them back down. So we'll see who it's going to be, making some stops. I mean, Cam Hayward with the sack to get him out of field goal range, and they still kick a 50-yarder. But hopefully Levi Wallace okay. They had him going to the tent. It'd be a shoulder or a collarbone injury, I'd have to think, of some sorts. As he got hit accidentally on the coverage with Minka. On the play that was almost picked off, I might add. But maybe the third time, hopefully not, will be the charm for the Falcons. And just keep cutting this lead. And eventually they'll have to do something late, but then we have yet to have a turnover. So keep that in mind for late in the game with potential big turnover. And they're not kicking to Cordarrelle Patterson either, who's beat them before in the return game. When he was a Viking a decade ago in London, he had a kickoff return for a touchdown, I might add. So they're not kicking to him, but if you do, you got to cover his ass because remember, the Colts with a big return to begin the second half last week. That's what sparked their comeback, and then the Steelers scored late and they won the game. But special teams could be a factor today too. I mean, 3 field goals already by both teams, and it'll be a touchback. So 1st and 10 in Atlanta from the 25. So they're going to show a replay of the TD. The simple empty set, and he is on the line, and all he does is run down the seam, right down the middle of the field on a go route. Cut back in a little bit, but Yeah, he's wide ass open in the end zone. Hit him. They do. Touchdown Pittsburgh. So 13-3 Steelers. 7 minutes to play in this first half. And from the 25, first 10 Atlanta. Fake the give. Mariota looking to throw down the middle of the field. Be caught. Drake London. There is a flag on the play, though. As Levi Wallace back in there pushed him out of bounds. We'll see who this goes against. Might be a pass interference on either of them. Prior to the pass, they got illegal contact on Pittsburgh. 5 yards, automatic first down. Normally, but with the big first down completion, it's declined and still first down Atlanta. So that's 2 drives in a row. 3 drives in a row, really, for him. First down on the first play. But 2 big plays on the first play on back-to-back drives now. 20-plus yard run and then a 35-yard pass. And then Minka Fitzpatrick makes a tackle in the backfield, so be second and long Atlanta from about the 42-yard line. So 13-3 Steelers here. Just keep punching them. Keep putting them down. Ball came out late as well, as Patterson would have been down by that point in time anyway. So 2nd and 14, they say officially. Yep, from the 42. They like running this offense out of the pistol, I see. So we'll see if the Steeler defense can win the draw, and Mariota going to avoid a sack. Shoots it downfield, and it'll be incomplete at the goal line. Cam Sutton on the coverage. Said his name a lot already today, making stop, making play after play. Went with the cut-off undershirt down to his elbows, I see. But, hey, whatever, giving to the edge to make a play. Dude, you got a deal. Third and 14 from the 42-yard line. Atlanta going to have to convert or at least get a little closer for field goal again. And they will. Minka, Spillane. There's KZ and Pierre as well. 4th down. And they'll kick another 50-yard field goal about 5:40 and counting out of play in the first half. I mean, yeah, no doubt about it. Atlanta's going to try to get the points when they can, and, respectfully so. But even with a good kicker, you don't want to be with Pittsburgh once again. 46-yard field goal. Atlanta, you don't want to be kicking, 50-plus yard field goals every drive. So both teams are going to have to find the end zone. This officially from 51, they say. And his kick will be up, and his kick will be good. 13-6, so back to a one-score game with 5:05 to play in the half. So Pittsburgh can get the ball back, 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning, and 5 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the half. And then Atlanta will get the ball to begin the second half. Yeah, okay. You can kick a field goal if you want. Go back up 10. 2-score game again. Go into the half. I'd like another touchdown, though. I would. Just like I said, though, there haven't been any turnovers yet. I feel one coming for whatever means. Whether that's by this team or that team, I just feel turnovers coming. And whether it's good or bad for the Steelers, well, it'd be bad, of course. Offensively, they turned over here. Go drive and score another touchdown here. I'm telling you, go drive and score another touchdown. Tack on to this lead a little bit. I mean, hell, you're 13 points again have right now. You've done that, win or loss. Total. Already at least 4 times this year. Make it 5. So, they got to keep scoring. They want to win this game. Unless the defense is going to keep them out every drive, which they forced 2 field goals, along with a punt. So Atlanta, in the meantime, could also have... This game's a hell of a lot closer, long story short, than what it is. It's a one-score game, 13-6, but it's really like a point or 2 here or there. It is. You think about it. Because Pittsburgh could have way more than they have. Same with Atlanta. But they have what they have. So you got to give credit to the defenses. Bending but not breaking to an extent right now. But if I'm Pittsburgh offensively here, Matt Canada, 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning, and 5 minutes to go the length of the field. When he had the ball for 10 plus in the opening quarter, I'm running the football. And they think now that you have gone to your tight ends and you've scored with your tight ends and made big plays with your tight ends, Freiermuth, Connor Hayward. Yeah, they're still going to be covering Deontay Johnson and George Pickens. But Sims might be I'm taking a knee in the end zone. I say maybe a decent return there, but no. Touchback first attempt 25. He might be a difference on this drive here. He had that catch that was overturned on the opening drive. They've gone to Pickens. They just haven't connected yet. But if Deontay Johnson can catch fucking football, you offensively have their defense sort of right where you want them at. And you've tried to go deep with them. We'll see if they, do here. 1st and 10, complete. Deontay Johnson at the 45-yard line. So maybe it'll be, hey, short and sweet. They'll drive quick and score. I'd still want to try to take as much time as I can here. But that's just me. But, as long as you're executing, and as long as you're moving the ball, that's all that matters. Drive and score. Get this run game going, though. Run the football. Maybe you run some trickery of some sorts. But they'll give to Sims on an end around. He's got a couple blockers, and he'll get about 7, maybe 8 yards. Okay, they'll say 6, 6.5, 7. So 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3. But, yeah, you got to... They've scored on all 3 drives, 2 field goals and touchdown. You got to score again. Keep it up. Miles Boykin in motion. Maybe he steps up. They hand off to Jalen Warren. Spins. First down, Pittsburgh. Okay. And once again, with them being able to run the football now, they're controlling the clock. They're also balanced offensively. They are. And take what the defense gives you. Hell, Freiermuth has a big catch. Connor Hayward has a touchdown. Where's Zach Gentry at? From the 44, 1st and 10. Pickett going to fake the give and then step up in the pocket. He's going to tuck it and run. And Kenny Pickett inside the 40, pushed out of bounds at 39. So 2nd down and medium here. Luckily, James Daniels blocked the guy coming right up the middle of the field. If not, he would have been sacked rather than get a 5-yard run. So 2nd and 5 here. Pickett bobble screen, complete Najee Harris, stiff arm, and a 1st down. All right. Don't have to snap it again because this clock's going to reset and wind right there. Have a 1st and 10 of the 2-minute warning with 3 timeouts still. Knocking on the door. Just scored touchdown here before half. And you still have over 3, okay, but I'd like a touchdown. But don't snap this. And Pittsburgh shortened the game. They're controlling the clock. They're running the football. They're picking up first downs. And with 2 minutes to play in the first half, they lead 13-6. And they have a 1st and 10 knocking on the door, looking to score some more here before halftime. And the Falcons will get the ball to begin the second half. So coming to halftime here, we'll have some first half stats and scores. We'll see what else is going on around the league. And then about 20 minutes or so from now, they're going to announce the New Year's 6 bowl games for college football. As the playoffs are set with the top 4 with 2 semifinals, as mentioned once again, with Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State. Georgia versus Ohio State, Michigan versus TCU, and the Peach and Fiesta Bowls, respectively, winners to once again play each other in the national championship game. But just awaiting the New Year's 6 Bowls. As mentioned, that should be about halftime, or at least coming out of it, depending on, for this game, how fast it's going to be from now until then. Because end of the halftime is about 10, maybe 12, 15 minutes at the max. College is about 20, maybe 25, 30 minutes. But two minutes to play here in first half. 1st and 10 Steelers up 7, 13-6. Just once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Scroll down, check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, with that red subscribe button notification on next to it. Right here on YouTube as well. And we'll see what they do here before half. They've gone with Harris, Warren, and Snell at tailback today. Just punch it in. You still have 3 timeouts here, 2 minutes to play, up 7. I'd hope you'd run the ball, work some clock. But maybe I'll even go back through tight ends. Watch, they'll throw a fucking fade, though, if they get down to the goal line. Which I absolutely hate. But if it works out, it works out. So what? Touchdown's touchdown, last I checked. So just seemingly just never works out. So I don't know why teams run it, but they do. But yeah. They still got to get Pickens involved, yes. But like I said, Freiermuth has a big catch and run. Nice big play. Hayward has a touchdown. Where's Zach Gentry at? And what about the screen game? Why not, with your running game, why not get the screen game involved? They do run some trickery. Hand off to Najee Harris, who reverses. Sims near side. He gets to the 30, 2nd and 7 Pittsburgh. All right, minute 50 to play. Got some pushing and shoving, but clock going to continue to wind. Pittsburgh still has 3 timeouts, I might add. But, I mean, why would you be in a hurry to, want to stop the clock right now? Just, you got a 2nd down, continue to wind it, hope to score here before half, and then, we'll go from there. Actually, Atlanta does, in fact, call a timeout. So they're going to try to get the ball back if they can. Minute 53 to play in the half. Pittsburgh with a 2nd and 7. And I'm get back to, basic fundamentally sound football, and that's running it. So yeah. Split screen commercial, we'll see what they draw up here. But I'd run the ball, get these tight ends involved still, and, just don't have to settle for 3. I'm telling you. He settled for 3 way too damn much this year, as it is, and already today, I might add as well. And he did score, but hope to score again rather than, have to kick from a field goal. But, 13-6, okay, do kick a field goal, you're back up 10. 2nd and 7 from the 30. Kenny Pickett going to roll out and throw it out of bounds, incomplete. And nobody's there. They might say intentional grounding.
And the incompletion stops the clock with 1:45 to go.
So incomplete, 3rd and 7, with a $1:45. Run the ball, make them call their timeout. But at the same point in time, though, you're probably going to throw here. Down the middle of the field, though, and you can't take a sack. No sack here. 3rd and 7. Kenny Pickett will step up, roll out, and it'll be caught. Steven Sims at the marker. Late flag. They might say illegal touching as he went out and he came back in and was the first to touch it. Rather than getting pushed out and then reestablish himself. Yeah, they'll say illegal touch probably with the flag. Unless the defense will hold. Yeah. If he ran out on his own, he's got to reestablish himself. Which he caught it. Should be a first down Pittsburgh after a reception of 8 yards. But we'll see what the Zebras say here. This is going Pittsburgh's way as Atlanta's bitching, hey, he stepped out, he stepped out, he stepped out. They will say illegal touching in the meantime on Pittsburgh. On 92. Like 82. Lost it down, be 4th down anyway. So now with the penalty, that's going to back him up. See where they spot the ball, and Pittsburgh can have a decision to make if they're going to kick a long field goal or punt. Oh my God, he had Jalen Warren coming over the middle. Matthew Wright going to kick a long field goal. Yeah, 48-yard field goal now. And he's been 3 of 3, 4 of 4 recently. Kicks up, kick is good. Matthew Wright makes it 16-6 Steelers. Atlanta going to get it back, $1:29, 2 timeouts, do something before half, and then they'll get the ball back to begin the 3rd quarter. So they could do some damage here. We'll see. But no, Matthew Wright, past couple games, 2 of 4 against the Saints, 3 of 3 against the Bengals, already 3 for 3 here today. Had a couple field goals last week, I might add as well. Take it while you can get it. Yeah, take the points, but like touchdowns, man. Can't settle for 3 and, expect to just hold on to this win, even though that's what they do 9 times out of 10. They got to score. But they've scored on every drive. They're 4 of 4 on that. 3 field goals and a touchdown, 16 points. When it should be a max of 28 or anywhere in between. They can't settle for 3. They're the same situation they were last week. Just Atlanta has another field goal compared to Indy. 16-3 rather than 16-6 it is, but they're going to get the ball back. Yeah, 1:29, 2 timeouts in the half. They'll get the ball back beginning the second half as well. So, yeah, Atlanta could do some damage here. So Pittsburgh defensively needs to get the hell off the field. Force a turnover potentially here, or early 3rd quarter. And then you've been able to run the ball. You've been able to work the clock. Do it some more while you're at it. So Pittsburgh kicks off, get another touchback. So Patterson not going to have a chance to return it. Be 1st and 10 Atlanta from the 25-yard line. And as we near halftime, it is 16-6 Steelers. So Matthew Wright in for the injured Chris Boswell, who's still on IR. He should be back soon. From the 25, 1st and 10 Atlanta. And Drake London for 11. Yeah, Boswell very well could be back next week, let alone the week after. That's, of course, if everything's gone good in recovery. But, at the same point in time, Matthew Wright, he's been in Pittsburgh before. They get another 11-yard reception down the middle, another 1st and 10 for the Falcons. And, they bring him back because of that previous experience, and he's only missed 2 field goals. And those 2 field goals he missed were 3 games ago. He's been perfect since, with just not one attempt here or there, because they can't score. They got to settle for 3. 2 of 4, 3 of 3. I believe it was also 3 of 3 last week. Might have been 2 of 2, though. And then he's already 3 for 3 today. So they're a decision to make. I mean, somebody's going to pick him up because Boswell's coming back one way or another. But yeah, because they're not going to keep 2 kickers. But just surprisingly, I don't want to jinx them, but as that pass incomplete from Mariota, 3rd and 10 under a minute to play in the half. As the Steelers have scored on all 4 drives, 3 field goals and touchdown. Presley Harvin did not fucking punt for the Steelers in the first half. That has to be a record, okay? Dating back to, since he's been in the league, for one. But Steelers as a whole overall, it's been quite a while that they have not punted once at all in the first half. So, little movement. They let it slide. Mariota's pass deep down the middle. It'll be incomplete. Good coverage by Minka. Incomplete, 4th and 10. Atlanta will punt. So Pittsburgh can get the ball back here still with about 30 seconds once the punt is punted, and then 3 timeouts to do something if they wish. You're up 10. Even with, a little time and timeouts, you probably don't want to do anything stupid. They might just take a knee. I think it's all just going to depend if they do run a play and then what happens on that first play, and then we'll go from there. But then Atlanta's going to get the ball to begin the second half then as well. But, why wouldn't you want to try to do something with time and timeouts? Move the ball, get in field goal range again. You've had to kick it 3 times already. Why the hell not one more? Sims from the 13 with 29 seconds. All right, 1st and 10 from there with 3 timeouts, up 10, 16-6. We'll see what they do here. Because you could go either way with it. Because you don't want to do anything stupid, is the thing. You have momentum on your side. You have them in a hole. You do. You've controlled the clock. They'll break the huddle. And looks like they're going to run a play. 29 seconds to 3 timeouts. Long-ass time. But under center's Pickett. Fryermuth in motion. Here comes the run to Najee Harris, probably. From the 14-yard line, officially 1st and 10. And they will run double deuce. And he gets maybe 4 yards. Timeout. 20 seconds. No, clock's going to run. So that'll take us to halftime. And the Steelers lead the Falcons 16-6 at half. Atlanta's going to get the ball to begin the second half, I might add. So 16-6 your score. We'll update some stats and scores here in a minute, along with see what else is going on around the league. But as we await the New Year's 6 bowl games to be announced as well in about 5 minutes or so, I'll relay that message when I have the info for the remaining Rose, Cotton, Sugar, and Orange Bowl as the semifinals are set, with Georgia playing Ohio State in the Peach Bowl and Michigan playing TCU in the Fiesta Bowl on New Year's Eve. That's your college football playoff this year. And the last year for the top 4, as in 2024 now, it'll expand to 12 teams. But, of course, the 2 winners between Georgia and Ohio State, Michigan, TCU will once again play each other in the national championship game. But a couple months away from finding out the rest of the New Year's 6 and the rest of the bowl games. I'm sure some shit has been leaked. If not already known, but until it's official, you just never know. But here we are at halftime in the meantime. NFL Week 13 Sunday, this first Sunday in December. Got 8 games on right now, 4 to kick off at 4. A Sunday night and a Monday night game as well. And of course, this is all after the Bills beat the Patriots on Thursday Night Football 24-10. But at the half, the Steelers lead the Falcons 16-6. And Normally, yes, we'd be watching 2 NFL games, but we're watching the one, and then the college football playoff selection show with the bowl games be announced as well in due time, rather than the other game on Fox or CBS. Just depends on what channel game currently watching is on. Of course, Steelers on, so it's on CBS. And they lead Atlanta once again 16-6, and still figuring out with the new update for myself as well for Do Not Disturb why it's not working. So that buzzing, if you even hear the buzzing with notifications rolling in, that's what that is. But meantime, at halftime, Kenny Pickett, 10 of 19, 145 yards passing and a touchdown. Has not been sacked. Offensive line has 2 penalties, 2 false starts. They've looked pretty damn good on offense, even though they could have a max of 28 points again. But similar first half, similar third quarter, probably, maybe. Hopefully not. But just similar game overall right now to this point, as it was last Monday with Pittsburgh and Indy compared to Pittsburgh and Atlanta. 16-3, now 16-6 at half. But, yeah, the Steelers didn't punt it all that first half. 3 field goals and touchdown. 16-6, they lead it. Kenny Pickett, 10 of 19, $145 and a touchdown. Najee Harris has 9 carries for 45 yards rushing, I might add, as CBS rolls with the highlights. We'll get to these scores from all these other games here in a minute. I'm sure you can hear that in the background, though. Sims has a couple end-around runs, 3 for 19 on the ground for him. Pickett, 4 of 11. And then as Jalen Warren returns as a carrier for 5 yards, Benny Snell, who played in his absence last week along with McFarland. Snell today, 2 carries, 10 yards rushing. They've gotten Derek Watt involved a little bit more recently as well. He has a carry for 4 yards and also a catch for 3 yards. But Pat Fryermuth leads the team in receiving, 3 for 76 with a 57 catch run to set up that touchdown drive. The pass complete from rookie to rookie, and Pickett to Hayward back to the Peach Bowl last year. Pitt played Michigan State. Connor Hayward, 1 catch, 17 yards, and his first ever NFL touchdown. But Pat Fryermuth, 3 of 76 receiving. Deontay Johnson has 3 catches, 36 yards receiving as well, I might add. Hayward, 1 of 17 in the score. And then Jalen Warren, Najee Harris, 1 for 7, 1 for 6, respectively. Derek Watt, 1 for 3. Sims has no catches, but has those couple end-arounds, yes. But then George Pickens held without a catch in the first half. And as Mariota's been sacked once by Cam Hayward, right now at halftime, Minka Fitzpatrick leads the team in total tackles, including 1 for loss, but still no turnovers. See if that comes into play or not. Matthew Wright, 3 of 3 on field goals, 2 from 46 apiece, and then a long of 48. Mariota, in the meantime, 9 of 16, 122 yards passing. That 1 sack from Cam Hayward. Algier, 2 carries, 23 yards rushing. He had a 20-yard run on the opening play of their second drive for first down, but hasn't done shit since. Patterson hasn't done shit either. A couple carries for nothing, and then no catches for him. But Drake London, 4 of 72 receiving. Hess, 1 of 12. And Atlanta, Koo, 2 of 2 with a long of 51 on the field goal. So Pittsburgh's controlled the clock. 19 to 10. Respectively, so they've had the ball about almost a quarter and a half of the first half. 16-6 your score. More first downs, more passing, more rushing yards, and more total yards as well. They've been balanced, Pittsburgh has, offensively, running and passing. A couple more penalties than Atlanta does, but 2 false starts and the illegal touching, which they still kicked the field goal anyway, and they still made it. So then they get the punt, Atlanta doesn't do anything before halftime. We'll see what they do again in the third quarter. Special teams don't give up a big return like you did last week to begin the second half. That's all I'll say. Because then that's what sparked Indy to, shut out Pittsburgh in the third quarter, had a 1-point 17-16 lead going into the fourth. And then, Pittsburgh, Benny Snell had to score, and then they went for two and got it, and then that was it, 24-17 your final score. So, yeah, this game is very similar, at least first half has been, at least compared to last week, 16-6 your score. So, leave it at that, and we'll see what it gives. But in the meantime, we await the New Year's 6 bowl games to be announced, and we'll get into what else is going on around the league here in a minute, as everything is at halftime except for 3 games, but they're all under a minute to play in the first half. So couple close games, an odd scoring game, a tie game, but yeah, we'll update these scores here in a minute. I want to see these New Year's 6 bowl games as they show off the championship trophy. We know the playoff semis, but there's still bowl games to be played. So let's see these New Year's 6 bowl games. We know the peach and fiesta. We just need to know the rose, cotton, sugar, and orange. And then I'll have a bowl preview at a later date. Just keep an eye out for that video. And as always, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for tuning in and listening here today. And we'll kick off the second half with Atlanta getting the ball down 10 at home, 16-6. Against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, the Orange Bowl will be Tennessee and Clemson. That should be a damn good game. There'll be a lot of orange in the Orange Bowl with the Vols and Tigers. What's next? I'd take Clemson to win that. I would. They can go east to west, or are they just going to do flip-flop it around? No particular order. Start with the Orange Bowl. It's Tennessee and Clemson. What's next? The Sugar Bowl will be Alabama and Kansas State. That'll be a damn good game. Alabama trying to make their case. What are the other teams doing in the present, losing their conference championship games? Well, what are the Tide doing in the present? Well, that's right. They're not even playing in their conference title game because they had 2 losses. And they're your 5th team. Going to play Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl. Should be a good game. Roll Tide, though, I would think. That'll be on New Year's Eve at noon, so that will lead into the playoff semis. All right. Kansas State with a 10-win year and a Big 12 title. So the Orange Bowl gets 2 at-larges with Tennessee and Clemson. It does seem like they're going east to west, so next should be the Cotton Bowl, with Tulane going to be your highest ranked non-Power 5. We'll see who they play. It should be USC. And then we'll get to the granddaddy of them all here in a minute. But yeah, just early favorite, early pick myself. We'll get to the playoff semis with who I think is going to win those in a minute. But I think Clemson's going to beat Tennessee in the Orange Bowl. Alabama should beat Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl because, one, they're pissed off that they're not in the playoff, but they shouldn't be in the playoff this year. Yeah, the Cotton Bowl will be USC and Tulane. All right. USC would be in the playoff, but, of course, they lost to Utah on Friday night in the Pac-12 championship game, and Utah is now going to be going to the Rose Bowl. And I'll hold my thought on their opponent for the graphic that they'll show off here in a second. As we're about to kick off the second half with the Steelers and Falcons, I might add, as well. Atlanta going to get the ball down 10, 16-6. Your score. USC should beat Tulane. I wouldn't be surprised if Tulane would upset them. It's all going to depend on if Caleb Williams is going to play. And that's not because of an opt-out by any means, potential injury, but he could play through it. We'll see. But that's the Cotton Bowl. Orange Bowl's Clemson, Tennessee. Sugar Bowl's Alabama, Kansas State. Cotton Bowl is USC and Tulane. Steelers on the kickoff as we'll begin the second half. Pittsburgh leads at 16-6. And the Rose Bowl game. The granddaddy of them all. We'll see the Pac-12 champ, Utah Utes, who lost in the Rose Bowl to Ohio State last year, yes. But they'll take on, officially, now the 11th ranked blue and white Penn State Nittany Lions as they're California dreaming. 6 years to the day, they'll head back to Pasadena and play in another Rose Bowl game in which they'll play Utah for the first time ever. So I'll have live watch-along reactions to that game live right here on YouTube, then, so be sure to tune in. And as a Penn State fan myself, we are Penn State. I'm not going to say should easily win that game. Utah is a tough opponent. They are. So I'm not going to be shocked if Penn State would lose. Should be down to the wire. But Penn State finds a way to win. This will be the third Rose Bowl I've seen them play in. And they've yet to win. So third time might be a charm. Because they beat Oregon in 95, but I wasn't around yet. And in 08 and 16, they've lost to USC in a blowout and then on a game-winning field goal. But in 16, they should have been in the playoff to begin with, but they weren't. And as still no two-loss team has made the playoff, they'll have one more year, a 4, and then get in the, expand the 12-team playoff. At that point, yes, come 2024, a 2-loss team will make it, but next year we'll see. Because still to this point, nobody has. But be the 109th Rose Bowl, do you believe, if I'm not mistaken? 108th, 109th. But the 100th year in this current Rose Bowl stadium in Pasadena, UCLA. Penn State, 100 years ago, 1923 to 1922 season, Penn State played in the Rose Bowl. And now they're going back 100 years later. And they'll play Utah for the first time ever. So, should be a good game. Should be a damn good game. And Utah is going to be, out for revenge after they lost to Ohio State last year in the Rose Bowl. Because they should have won that game. And I picked them to win that game, but they didn't. Of course, going to pick Penn State to win this game. And that's 2 straight years. Teams that I've, come to like and, respect and so on and so forth. Penn State has played the past 2 years in bowl game. Arkansas and now Utah. Who's it going to be next year? South Carolina right now? Maybe. But if that's the case, somebody's obviously listening. I'll have to look back on this a year from now. But in the meantime, they're going to show off the rest of the top 25. So UTSA's 25, Troy's 24, winning the Sun Belt, NC State 23, Mississippi State's 22, and Notre Dame 21. I'll see if I can update some more bowl matchups here in a minute. But Texas is 20, South Carolina 19, UCLA 18, LSU 17, and Tulane jumps to 16. A couple teams are falling. Whether they played this weekend and lost or just didn't play at all. Of course, you had teams win their conference championships, so they're going to jump with a win. So yeah, Penn State was they fall to 11. Utah is now a Pac-12 title win, but the top 4 is right with Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State after USC had lost. Alabama 5, and then we'll go from there. But Penn State's going back to Pasadena, and they'll take on Utah. They played Utah State before. They played BYU before, but they never played the Utes. And they're looking for their first bowl win, I might add, since pre-COVID, which is also a New Year's Six bowl. But, they're showing off the rest of the top 25 here now. A couple minutes into the second half. And it hasn't done anything just yet. Still 16-6. DeMonte Casey, I guess, was injured, so hopefully he'll be okay. But, okay, Oregon's 15. Oregon State's 14 for that head-to-head win. Florida State has to be the quietest 9-win team this year at 13. Washington's 12, and then Penn State's 11. But then with a win in the Rose Bowl, they should be able to, finish in the top 10. And, if you would have, told me at the start of the year that Penn State would have finished potentially with a Rose Bowl win or let alone a Rose Bowl appearance and, a top 10 finish, I'd probably be saying you're fucking crazy. No doubt. I ain't going to lie. Because that's the thing with Penn State football this year. Just didn't know what team was going to show up. Coming off the past 2 years, 11-11 from 0-5 to 4-5 and 5-0 to 7-6. And then 5-0 to a loss, and then a win and another loss, but then an undefeated November, and they finished at 10-2. And Penn State, Utah in the Rose Bowl on January the 2nd. Got a flag on the play. USC's 10, Kansas State's 9, Utah is 8, Clemson's 7, so then Tennessee's 6, and Alabama's 5. Alabama's 5 with their 2 losses, even though Tennessee beat them head-to-head. Alabama's 2 losses were on literally the last play of the game. They lost at Tennessee on a game-winning field goal, and then lost in overtime at LSU on a game-winning touchdown in overtime. Tennessee got blown out by both Georgia and South Carolina. So, yeah, 10's USC, Kansas State's at 9, Utah's 8, Clemson 7, Tennessee 6, Alabama 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 is Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State. So, your playoff semis are as follows. It'll be Georgia and Ohio State in the Peach Bowl in Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, where the Steelers and Falcons are playing today. That'll be New Year's Eve night. That should be a damn good game. And then Michigan TCU earlier in the day out in the desert. And as a Big Ten fan, always root for the Big Ten during bowl season, regardless of the matchup for the most part. Right now, I'd like to see a rematch of the game with Michigan and Ohio State in the national championship game. Whether we get that or not is a different story because Georgia's damn good. Arguably the best team in the country coming off a national championship game, and they're still number one. Had undefeated in the SEC championship game again. And then TCU finds ways to win, even though they lost on a game-winning field goal yesterday. It was the first loss, and they're still in. So I'd say, yeah, give me Michigan and Ohio State to play each other in the national championship game. But I'm not going to be surprised if it's, any of the other potential matchups. But a potential rematch with Georgia and Michigan from the Orange Bowl last year in the national championship game this year. But it also could be, if it ain't Georgia, Ohio State, it's Georgia, TCU. And then if it ain't, there's what, a couple different combos there. I would like to see Michigan, Ohio State. I would, as a Big Ten fan. Talk about SEC bias. We've seen SEC teams play each other in rematches in the national championship game before. Why not have Michigan and Ohio State match up? And then maybe the Wolverines put it to them again. Maybe the Buckeyes get revenge. Might add, Michigan and Ohio State are the only two teams Penn State lost to this year. So, what could have been? But yeah. I'm not going to be shocked, though, if Georgia runs the table and wins the ball game, because they're that damn good. I truly think, told somebody this the other day, I think Georgia's going to lose. We just didn't know the potential matchups. I do think Georgia's going to lose. Whether it's in the semi or the national championship game, I think Georgia's going down. I do. The big dog ain't going to like that by any means. But I'd like to see Michigan, Ohio State in the national championship game. I would. It's probably going to be Georgia, Michigan, though. But you can't count out TCU because they find ways to win. And then Ohio State snuck in after USC loses. And they show off the bracket for the top 12 if it were a 12-team playoff this year. Georgia, Michigan, Clemson, Utah as conference champs would get byes. Tennessee would host Kansas State, TCU would host Tulane, Ohio State would host Penn State, and Alabama would host USC. And then the winners advance from the first round on campus to quarterfinals and the bowl games and the semifinals, and then the national championship game. So, of course, that's going to take effect in 2 years in 2024. But your New Year's Six Bowls, the college football playoff, is Georgia, Ohio State in the Peach Bowl, Michigan, TCU, and the Fiesta Bowl. Winners to play each other in the national championship game. The Orange Bowl is Clemson and Tennessee. The Sugar Bowl is Alabama and Kansas State. The Cotton Bowl is USC and Tulane. And the granddaddy of them all, from Pasadena, California, the Rose Bowl. It'll feature a first ever matchup with the Utah Utes and the blue and white Penn State Nittany Lions. And then we'll see if we can find out any more bowl matchups here in the meantime. But also in the meantime, back to this game. With 11-11 to play in the third quarter, we are Penn State. Hope for a bowl win against Utah in the Rose Bowl. Steelers have a 1st and 10 to the 20. Up 16-6 scores. Atlanta didn't do anything their opening drive, third quarter. Pickett going to tuck it and run for 4 and be 2nd down and 6. All right, just keep it going. Keep at it. We'll go from there.
He believed that he was open. Even though there are 2 defenders there, he's still open.
And you have to remember, these two have great chemistry. Back over the summer, Pickett was not.
So they give him 5 officially, 2nd and 5 from the 25. And Benny Snell, about a yard short, be 3rd and 1.
Do in the second half of play, we saw down the middle to try to run the football. And for the Steelers, they want to commit to getting back to where they were the first drive of the game when they used almost 7.5 minutes on the clock. They want to speed up this clock and get a score out of this drive here. Try to keep it going. It's 3rd down and 1.
3rd and short, Pickett under center. Sims in motion. They'll hand off Benny Snell, and he gets the Steeler 1st down. Keep the drive alive. Keep moving the sticks. First and 10 Steelers, pick it out of the gun. Over the middle, caught. 1st down, Pittsburgh again. They say complete. Deontay Johnson at the sticks, so hit the ground rather than, him catching it. And next commercial break, we have news on who's playing each other in all these other bowl games. So we'll get to that info in a minute. Unless he short hopped that, that's a catch. So incomplete. 2nd and 10 for Pittsburgh. Empty set. Dump off Deontay Johnson. He actually went forward and got a Steeler 1st down. Did hell freeze over? Other than dancing side to side, and then backwards, and then forwards, and hopscotching his way, doing the hokey pokey. Deontay Johnson actually gets a Steeler 1st down. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh. Now back to the run game. Run the damn ball. And Najee Harris on the give. Out past midfield. 1st down run to the 42. About a 13-yard run. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh. Keep it up. Keep running the damn ball here. And we got a timeout for an injury. Oh, God, who is it? Chuk. All right, Jesse Davis potentially in at right tackle now. Let alone Trent Scott potentially, if they shake it around. ESPN continuing to roll out with the other bowl games, but I have a list here. update that here in a minute, as mentioned at the next commercial break. And we'll go from there. Just keep an eye out for bowl game preview once again, as always. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh from the 41. So handoff, Najee Harris. Yeah, 72, Trent Scott, the backup left tackle behind Dan Moore, is in at right tackle for the injured Chuk for the time being. So 2nd and 8, Pittsburgh, 7-11 and counting to play in this third quarter, even though Sheets is better. Pickett, high snap, out of the gun, gets it down, looking to throw, rolls out, dumps it off, complete. Benny Snell, first down, Pittsburgh inside the 30, down to the 27. Late flag as well. We'll see what that dirty laundry is from the Zebras, but 1st and 10, Pittsburgh in the meantime.
And let's see if they get it on Stellar Grant.
And we'll have a personal foul, horse collar on the defense. 15 yards, be half the distance actually, automatic first down.
You know, you talked about Benny Snell not getting any carries. I give him the perseverance award. Because when you're covering kicks, doing all the dirty work, all the yucky stuff, and in practice, you know what, he's carrying the ball, but he's the other team's starting running back. So he never got those touches, but never pouted. And Mike Tomlin,
I'll take the penalty, 1st and 10.
ready to play when they're supposed to be ready to play.
An 11-yard pass play and tapped out 15 for the penalty, so 26 yards per
It was half the distance, yeah.
number 11 on this drive.
1st and 10, Pittsburgh from the 14 now. Gunner. They faked the end around to him, but yeah, flag in the play in the meantime. Another false start on Deontay Johnson. Now, what the hell it is with all these false starts today? They should be used to playing in crowd noise. They get their inside, but played inside last Monday night. Yeah, Deontay Johnson just shoots himself in the foot a little too much. And now he's going to come out. So 1st and 10, Pittsburgh now back at the 19. Sims in motion, they hand off Snell. And he'll get 3 yards. 2nd and 12, 6:16 and counting to play in the third quarter. Well, yeah, I'd like a touchdown here. But you kick a field goal, you're already up 10. You're just going to tack on to that 2-score lead, you know, because you'd be up 19-6. They need 2 touchdowns to take the lead. And then going in the fourth quarter with, you know, for the most part where this game's been at and gone to already, 2nd and 13, Pickett in the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Deontay Johnson. No flag, even with a little push. Probably good no call, it's incomplete. 3rd down and 13. Third and long here for Pittsburgh. And I'll take the field goal, but I'd like a touchdown still. That's a delay of game. They let it slide until they blow the whistle, so delay of game, 3rd and 18. God damn it, unless they call a timeout. Yep, 5 yards. Son of a bitch.
Was trying to read their cover tree snap. Just took a little too long reading. A little speed reading would have gone a long way right there. Third and long in field goal range. How aggressive.
You're probably running a draw. You're probably kicking it. I mean, you can take a shot. You just don't turn it over. Pickett looking to throw. Going to dump off on the screen to Jalen Warren. And he'll get to the 15. Where they had the ball at after that run and the penalty. But now they got a fourth down. Yes, they go forward and they go backwards. And now they got to kick another fucking field goal. This should be about from 32, 33. Make an extra point, basically. But Matthew Wright's already 3 for 3 today. Don't want to jinx him, but he hasn't missed since the Saint game. Yeah, 33-yard field goal, which is an extra point. He's already good on one of those today as well after the touchdown. Snap, hold, kick, all good. Pittsburgh now leads at 19-6 with 4:46 to play in the third quarter. 19-6 Steelers. Falcons getting the ball back. So Pittsburgh's still controlling the clock. You know, Atlanta had the ball there a couple minutes, start third quarter, nothing. And then Pittsburgh goes about, on a 6-7 minute drive, another field goal. So they scored on every drive. It's just they've kicked 4 fucking field goals and only scored 1 touchdown. They still lead, though, 19-6. Atlanta with 2 touchdowns take the lead, though, as we near going into the fourth quarter. But 19-6 your score. In the meantime, around the league here now, midway through third quarters, coming out at halftime, or hell, at the end of the third quarter already in one game. We have a 19-6 Steeler lead at Atlanta. Green Bay coming back, but still down at Chicago, 16-10. The Lions are putting to the Jags, 30-6. Vikings up 29 on the Jets. Washington was up 10-0 on the Giants, but they now trail by 7. New York's come back, and they have a 20-13 lead at the end of 3. Eagles 21-10 leading Tennessee. Broncos and Ravens in a low-scoring defense showdown. Denver leads 9-3. And then that odd scoring game, it was 7-5. Cleveland on top of Houston. But now the Browns have scored again, and Browns lead the Texans 14-5. Seahawks, Rams, Dolphins, 49ers, Chiefs, Bengals, and Chargers, Raiders still to kick off at 4. Sunday Night Football, Colts, Cowboys, Monday Night Football, Saints, Bucks. Bills beat the Patriots 24-10, of course, on Thursday night, and the Cardinals and Panthers have byes this week. Next week around the league, which will be week 14, we have a Thursday night matchup with the Raiders and Rams. We're going to get to these other bowl announcements in a second, I might add, as well. But next week around the league, as mentioned, Raiders, Rams on Thursday night. We got next Sunday, Jets, Bills, Browns, Bengals, Texans, Cowboys, Vikings, Lions, Jags, Titans, Eagles, Giants, Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs, Broncos, Bucks, 49ers, Panthers, Seahawks, Dolphins, Chargers, and next Monday night will be Patriots and Cardinals. But here today, 16, make it 19-6 now with that field goal. Steelers on top of the Falcons. Atlanta getting the ball back. 4:46 to play in the third quarter. And another touchback on the return. The 1st and 10. Atlanta from the 25-yard line. So yes, as the college football bowl season will get underway, we still have one more regular season game in college football next Saturday. It'll be Army-Navy on Saturday. The Heisman to be awarded next Saturday night as well. NFL continue. Bowl games begin a week from next weekend. And from whenever the bowl games begin until the end, these are the bowl games that we know of at this point in time. We got Southern Miss and Rice, along with BYU and SMU in the New Mexico Bowl. Troy, UTSA in the Cure Bowl. Boise State's going to play North Texas in their backyard in the Frisco Bowl. Houston and Louisiana Lafayette in the Independence Bowl. Fresno State, Washington State should be a damn good game in the LA Bowl. South Alabama, Western Kentucky down in New Orleans. Georgia Southern and Buffalo. Along with East Carolina and Coastal Carolina in Birmingham, Alabama. That should be a pretty damn good game. San Jose State, Eastern Michigan on the blue turf. Yukon and Marshall down in Myrtle Beach on the teal turf. Along with Wyoming and Ohio meeting in Arizona. Toledo and Liberty and down in Boca, as Liberty just announced Jimmy Chadwell is their new head coach, leaving Coastal Carolina. Utah State and Memphis. Shout out to all the first responders. Washington and Texas should be a damn good game in the Alamo Bowl. Along with New Mexico State and Bowling Green and Motown. Pizza. LSU and Purdue in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl. Along with Florida and Oregon State in the Vegas Bowl. Pitt's going to play UCLA in the Sun Bowl. That should be a damn good game, too. And then we'll see if there's been anything announced since that was last updated. And it looks like Notre Dame's going to either be going to the Gator or Holiday Bowl. But that's it for the time being. So more bowl games to be announced later. So that's that for the time being. But as Atlanta has a second down at the 20-yard line, looking to cut this lead again, they hand off. 2, maybe 3-yard run. Be third and short here as we near the end of the third quarter. Got a flag on the play. We'll see if that is. Yeah, everybody's Spider-Man, pointing back and forth at each other. Holding on the defense. 5 yards, automatic first down. Yeah. So from the 12, 1st and 10 Atlanta. Out of the pistol again here. And a give to Patterson. And then Adams, who had the penalty, wraps him up on the stop. A minute to play in the third. Atlanta with another second and a medium. They trail here by 13 points. Fake the give. Mariota's pass caught, and they will be short. No, they say touchdown at the goal line. Touchdown Atlanta. Probably the right call. Yeah, it's touchdown. They'll kick the extra point. And then they'll only be down 6. Touchdown then if Pittsburgh, doesn't do anything. That's a touchdown. Even if you would look at that'd still be a touchdown. That ain't getting a return. That's a touchdown. All scoring plays reviewed, so yeah, it's confirmed. Touchdown Atlanta. So 19-12 right now. Extra point for Atlanta. Good. 19-13. 43 seconds to play in the third. Pittsburgh can get the ball back. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. But it's going to get interesting here this fourth quarter again for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who would have thought? Got to score a touchdown. Got to go back up 2 scores. Rather than, just kick field goals. Can't say it any other way. You got to score touchdowns right up, set up for 3. Okay? So 19-13. If Atlanta, like I said, if Pittsburgh holds with their 19, Falcons score, extra points can give them a lead, 20-19. And then it's back to, Pittsburgh, having to settle for 3 when those 4 field goals could be touchdowns. Half of them probably are field goals, but you got to score points. You got to score touchdowns. And this defense, if you do score, and hopefully you do, and in the meantime, hopefully you can run the ball and work some clock, go on another big drive here. Defense, once Atlanta will get the ball back late and make some stops. But this game's probably going to come down to the wire. But what's new? And they have another lead, and here you go blowing it again. So it's nothing new. They're either playing like this with a lead and then holding on to it, trying not to blow it, or they're coming from behind, and then it might be too late because they didn't do hardly anything early. But even with them not punting yet today, they scored on every drive. They only have 1 touchdown. They have 4 field goals. They have 19 points, and they lead by 6 here, 19-13 at the end of the third quarter. So they'll get the ball with timeouts and time, and hopefully they can work some clock because they've controlled the clock officially still by a good almost 10 minutes. So that first quarter, them controlling from the get-go with their running game compared to Atlanta's. I mean, Atlanta, had some big plays on that drive. They continued to move the football, and they scored. And rightfully so. You got to give them credit. Pittsburgh offensively here, just run the ball, work some clock. Nothing stupid. No penalties, no turnovers, because we still have yet to have a turnover. Touchback on the kick, 1st and 10 from the 25. But Pickens still without a catch, I might add. Deontay Johnson, okay, played all right. But somebody who's had a quiet second half is Pat Freiermuth. So Kenny Pickett, run the damn ball with Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, Benny Snell as you have. Check down on the screens. But I'm going down the middle of the field for Freiermuth. There's Pickens on the catch, his first of the game. A couple yards, be 2nd down. And they got a 3-second differential. They will have to snap it once more before the end of the quarter. Play clock now officially at 22 when the game clock's at 25. And so on and so forth from there. 3-second differential. 2nd and 8. Yeah, 1 catch, 2 yards. But Gunner in motion. They got to snap here at least once. And they'll give to Gunner Olszewski, Olszewski, if you will. No gain on the play, though. 3rd and 8 for Pittsburgh to begin the fourth. Up 6, 19-13 at the Atlanta Falcons today. So, telling you, Pat Freiermuth, man, down the middle of the field. 3 catches, 76 yards for him. All in the first half. He hasn't had a catch since he had that 57-yard catch and run that, they ended up scoring off of with Connor Hayward down in play later. All the other drives, even though they haven't punted, it's been field goals. They have a 6-point lead and they're trying to hold on to it. So you got to continue to move the football here, 3rd and 8. They might punt for the first time when we come back, but defensively they'll make a stop. But I'm telling you, Pat Fryermuth down the middle of the field. Pat Fryermuth. Atlanta's done a good job covering Pickens. He has 1 catch for 2 yards there. And Deontay Johnson has a couple catches for officially 50 yards now, 4 or 50. But, could have way more. Honestly, probably should have 100 yards receiving at this point, but he doesn't. Or close to it, for that matter. But maybe they go deep. Maybe they take a shot. I wouldn't mind it. Just nothing stupid. No turnovers. I mean, if you would go deep and turn it over, okay, it'd be sort of flipping the field as you would punt anyway. But then defensively, you got to make a stop. But just then hope they don't capitalize off of anything. You can't allow them to score if you're not doing anything here. You give them a field goal. It might be a special teams finish. I mean, it's been a special teams game, for God's sakes. You have as many field goals as we've seen today, for that matter, most all by Pittsburgh. So 6-0 field goals, couple extra points, 19-13 is where we sit at the end of 3, and Pittsburgh's out of 3rd and 8 to begin the 4th. But I'm telling you, Pat Fryer moved down the middle of the field. So we'll see if they go to him or not, or run whatever the hell they're going to run. But in the meantime, as always, thanks for tuning in and listening. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below, thumbs up button. Share hashtag NFL, hashtag Steelers, hashtag Falcons. Chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers, super likes, super thanks. Always greatly appreciated as well. And I'll also, here shortly, have live watch-along reactions of the Chiefs-Bengal game. We'll pick that up at halftime and watch the 3rd and 4th quarter as we do with a 1-4 kick with a full 1 o'clock Steeler game and whatever game it is then next. So, yeah, probably about 6 o'clock back over on YouTube after this game wraps up. But be sure to subscribe. Begin the 4th quarter, 3rd and 8 for Pittsburgh from the 27-yard line. Jalen Warren going to motion back into the backfield. And Kenny Pickett out of the gun gets the snap, rolls out. Got a flag on the play. It's coming back for a hold, even though it's caught and then dropped by Deontay Johnson. That's incomplete rather than a catch and a fumble. They say catch and fumble, though, Atlanta football. God fucking damn it. So what do? You turn it over when you shouldn't. Flag on the play, hold. They'll decline that. It'll be coming back anyway. Pickens is bitching, get me the ball. Yeah, Deontay Johnson, what the fuck? It's going to be a hold. It's 10 yards. They'll decline it now. Catch and fumble. And see a replay of that. It looks like an incomplete pass to me. Our hands to the face on Pittsburgh. Penalties declined with a turnover. 1st and 10 Atlanta. And then now they got momentum. Down 6 here at the 4th quarter. Going to try to capitalize off the first turnover of the game and the Steeler turnover there. So Pickett rolled out, was caught, and that's close. And they said catch and fumble on the field. That looks incomplete to me. So it's under review. They would then accept the penalty if it gets overturned. And then Pittsburgh would punt. And then you play field position, you boom it away, and then you play defense. Rather than giving them the ball and, fucking right side of the 50. So calling the field's a fumble and then recovered by Atlanta. Catching a fumble rather than a complete pass. They overturned the incompletion earlier, or the completion to an incompletion earlier. I think they might overturn that from a catch and a fumble to an incomplete pass. I mean, the thing is, Atlanta's getting the ball back regardless. Whether it's right there where they recovered it at or, 1st and 10, going to have to go the distance because then Pittsburgh would have to punt. It's going to be Falcon ball 1st and 10 here. Just a matter of fact if it's going to be, catch and fumble as it was on the field, it stands, 1st and 10 where he was down at, which about the 35, 40 yard line, give or take. versus, okay, it's incomplete. They accept the penalty. Pittsburgh punts, and then 1st and 10 Atlanta from inside the 20 probably. But it's going to be Falcon ball 1st and 10 one way or another. It's just going to depend on where they have the ball at. And what they say, if catching a fumble as it was, you're incomplete. Thing is, you got to catch it and take 2 steps. He caught it, sort of bobbled it, was taking a step or 2, and then the ball came out. So, and with control and possession, we'll see. The thing is, they have to find indisputable evidence to return it. Do they have that? They might. They might not. The thing is, the call on the field is a catch and a fumble. So it might stand, but it versus also might not. I don't know. We'll see. So as we sit at a commercial break, awaiting the review. It is still under further review. Call on the field's a fumble, and it's overturned. It's incomplete. So 4th down, they'll accept the penalty, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will now punt. Yeah, that thought it was incomplete. No, it is. So Pittsburgh punts for the first time today here at the start of the 4th quarter. And Atlanta fair catch at the 26-yard line. So they start off there 1st and 10. We also have Oregon going to the Holiday Bowl to take on either Notre Dame or North Carolina. Still to be determined. Air Force Baylor. Shout out to Armed Forces. Whether that's Air Force, but Army, Navy, Marines and Coast Guard, thank you for service. 1st and 10 Atlanta out of the pistol. Mariota going to hand off. Stop the run now. 3-4 yards, 2nd down. But then also Texas Tech and Ole Miss in the Texas Bowl. That's what else has been updated. Atlanta's played 9 one-score games. Yeah, I was going to say Pittsburgh's right up there too. 7 one-score games for the Steelers. So it's couldn't. That pass is caught 1st down, Atlanta. Coincidence or not, here we are in a 1-score game. Minute in the 4th quarter, 19-13.
The field turn doesn't move. You can't really dig down into it, so you're always on top of the turn. So that's why you see slippage when you think when they're playing in perfect conditions. It's just a little slip in natural grass.
So 1st and 10 from the 41. Out of the pistol again. They'll run it. Patterson, TJ Watt on the tackle after a 3-4 yard game.
4 yards for Cordero Patterson. Inside the NFL, the show the pros watch. Tuesday, streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Minka Fitzpatrick, Terrell Evans, those are the kind of edge stoppers. You've got those linebackers on the outside, then you have the safeties who are coming down inside to fill on these outside reads that are running. The Steelers really have to buckle down right here. First, we go onto the bench to get a quick look at.
Mariota going to keep it for himself. Miles Jack. All right. Jacks him up. Got a 3rd and short.
TJ Watt has the inside defender, tries to slide underneath the tight end, and once he does that, Mariota with good eyes pulls the ball out. On 3rd and 1, Atlanta's just 1 for 6.
Oklahoma on the audible. 3rd and 1 for Atlanta. But they've only converted 1 3rd down all game. They'll run the option. And they'll get the 1st down. Good God. Edmonds, Sutton, Minka Fitzpatrick on the tackle. Yeah, they're on option. Come on, D, make a stop. That's a hold, and that's a 5-6 yard run. Another 2nd and medium, 2nd and manageable for Atlanta here. Atlanta has momentum. They have Pittsburgh right where they want them at. They do. 2nd and 4, another yard. 3rd and 3, make it. 10:38 and counting to play. Come on, D. Third and 3, they hand off again, and Robert Spillane makes the tackle along with the Louisville. Be 4th and short for Atlanta. It looks like they're going to go for it. Under 10 to play here. You could try to draw them off sides for 1. 4th and a yard, they sneak it. They'll take their time. They got 15 seconds on the play clock. Here's an audible. Talking to everybody on the offense. Back up under centers, Mariota. Tight end in motion. They'll toss. And then TJ Watt chasing him down, trips him up, but he gets the 1st down. 1st down, Atlanta. 4th and 1, they needed a yard. They got 2, 1st and 10 Falcons. Come on, defense. Son of a bitch. And now TJ Watt's hurt. So 1st and 10, Atlanta. I don't know why they haven't taken a shot. Mariota, they're going to keep running the ball. And rightfully so, because Pittsburgh can't stop it. Patterson for 6, maybe 7 yards. 2nd down. TJ Watt's just gassed. He's not hurt. He's gassed. He's getting a drink. He's been out there. I mean, Atlanta's now doing what Pittsburgh's done to him all game. Working the clock and running the football. And they get another 1st down. They'll mark him about a half yard short, it looks like. Be 3rd and, yeah, about a football. Eight minutes to play. 19-13 Steelers. Come on, D. Turnover would be nice. But you got to stop the run. But watch the play action. That's why I'm like, why isn't Atlanta taking a shot? They'll fake the give. Mariota looking to throw. And it'll be caught at the 10-yard line. First and goal, Atlanta from there. Oh my God. You seriously are going to do this to yourself again. It's like they think, once again, 16-6, 19-6 is a big enough fucking lead. They think the game's over when they get up by 2 scores. TJ Watt back in the ball game. Atlanta first and goal from the 10. Looking to take a lead. Handoff, Patterson. Far side, coming back for a hold. Flag on the play, walks in, touchdown, but 10 yards, they'll replay it down. Be first and goal at the 20. That's a clear hold, a clear penalty. Thank you. For the first fucking time today, I actually threw a fucking holding call against them. Getting held all last week. For the most part, all today as well. And, I mean, well, yeah. He doesn't hold them. That's a clear hold. He doesn't, break it and walk in, but it's coming back. So, no touchdown. Still 19-13, first and goal, Atlanta from the 20. Force them to a field goal, and then work clock with running the football. Make them call their timeouts. Another one-score game. Doesn't over the Steelers, but both these teams. Out of the pistol, another handoff. Stop the damn run. 2-yard run, and Miles Jack making some stops. All right. Second goal, Atlanta from the 18. Where's Devin Bush at, though, when you need him, man? Let alone, Hayward had a sack earlier. Connor has a touchdown on offense, but Cam Hayward had a sack. Where's Minka in the back end, along with Sutton for an interception here, potentially? Let alone, KZ banged up but returned. But even, Millette and James Pierre, for God's sakes. Got a false start on Atlanta. Second goal back to the 23 now. But Levi Wallace was hurt earlier since return. Miles Jack's made some stops today. He has. We're Spillane on this drive, I might add as well. Watt, quiet again, but Malik Reed was held. What about Alex Highsmith? Just make a stop, defense. 6:20 to play. Second goal, Atlanta from the 23. 19-13 your score. Mariota looking to throw. Far side, caught. Drake London to the 10, and Sutton wraps him up. So Atlanta's got a third and goal from the original line of scrimmage on goal to go from the 10-yard line now. Third and goal from the 10. 6:06 and counting to play. Oh my God. Come on, D. Come on, defense. Because if you go with a touchdown here, game's in Kenny Pickett's hands to drive and score. Get him in field goal range. Score a touchdown to win the game. Do what you got to do. Just find a way to hold on to this win. They've been leading the whole entire way. Mariota in the end zone, incomplete, no flag. They 1-on-1 Millette on the coverage. And Atlanta's going to have to kick it. So they're going to have to play some good defense, hope to get the ball back. 5:29 to play. They still got 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning, though. But if they kick the field goal and it's up and good, yeah, I can understand if you wanted a flag there, but no call. It's incomplete. So they're going to kick the field goal. Watch for a fake. Watch a fake. 28-yard field goal. As they won't reset the play clock, they got to get it off. 3, 2, 1, they snap it. Kicks up and good. So 19-16 with 5:27 to play. Pittsburgh going to get the ball back. You're going to run the football and work this clock as much as you possibly can. No 1-minute drive, okay? No another punt. Run the ball, work clock, You score, you go back up 2 scores. Pressure's on them to score, get the ball back and score again. Field goal, they still have a chance. Down 6, meaning then a touchdown, an extra point then would win it for them. Okay? Pittsburgh has got to drive by running the football and working as much clock as they possibly can and scoring a touchdown if they want to win this game. If they drive and kick a field goal, Atlanta's still got a chance, and then it's in the defense's hands to make a stop to win them the game again. As they're trying to win 2 straight for the first time this year and 3 or 4 to get into some divisional games down the stretch. But that's the thing. Once again, take care of business. Maybe get some help. You're still going to be all right. So, we'll see what happens. But what's new? Down to the wire finish. Another 1-score game for the Steelers. And voila, here we go again. Just why? How in the hell does this always happen? Why do they, get themselves in this spot? It's like, once again, they think this is good enough or that's good enough. No, it's not. You got to keep putting the hammer down. But until they learn, this is how it's going to be. With some more bowl updates. Wisconsin, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Kansas in the Liberty Bowl. Florida State, Oklahoma in the Cheez-It Bowl. Among everything else I've already mentioned, but whatever you do, don't turn the ball over. But run the damn ball and work clock. And if you are throwing, okay, Pickens only has 1 catch. Deontay Johnson, a couple for 50. Don't do anything stupid though, DJ, but get the ball to Pat Freiermuth. That is if you're throwing, but run the damn ball. Should be a 1-2-3 punch with Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, and Benny Snell. Run the damn ball. Get a couple first downs. Work this clock and win this game. Jesus Christ. 19-16, touchback. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh from the 25-yard line. Kenny Pickett looking to throw. Complete. No, that's Zach Gentry. For 9 yards. 2nd and short.
Seventy-nine games this year have been decided to 6 points or fewer. That's the most in NFL history through week 12 of the season.
79 of 180 games decided by 6 points or fewer through week 12 is the most in NFL history. So a lot of close games this year, as we've known. That's a damn good stat. But 2nd and 2, handoff Najee Harris, and it looks like he gets the first down. So 1st and 10, Pittsburgh. Yes, 1st and 10, Steelers. Work clock, run the damn ball. First and 10, Freiermuth in motion. And they will run it. Najee Harris, stiff arm, out past the 40 to 43. Yeah, work this play clock. Don't snap it. Don't have to snap it. Here's another update. What do we got? Browns, Texans. And Deshaun Watson's going to win in his first start as a Brown quarterback against his former team, the Texans, as they're up 24-8 in the fourth. So, yeah, Pittsburgh needs to win if Cleveland's winning so they can stay at both at 5 and 7. And then Baltimore and Cincinnati ahead of them. The Ravens are at home against the Broncos right now. Bengals host the Chiefs a little bit later on. Pittsburgh runs it again. Gets another first down. 1st and 10 at midfield. Keep running the damn ball. Keep running the football. It is 1st and 10, Pittsburgh, yeah. Don't snap it, you have to snap it. It's not that hard. And they run an end around, Gunner. Good block by Derek Watt and Pat Fryermuth, but he only gets 2 yards. But unless Atlanta calls a timeout, they're not going to have to snap it again until a 2-minute warning and have a 2nd and 8. And it looks like this clock will wind to 2 minutes. And Pittsburgh just going to let it run. So 2 minutes to play. Steelers lead the Falcons 19-16. And they got a 2nd and 8. Atlanta still has 3 timeouts, but they're not calling them, just like Jeff Saturday did it last Monday night. But keep running the ball. Keep getting first downs, and that should do it. Atlanta's for sure going to call their timeouts here. They still might get the ball back, depending on what happens. But I'm not going to be shocked they run a play action off of this on 2nd or 3rd down here. And maybe go deep. Whether that's to Fryermuth, Pickens, Johnson. Still coming down to the wire. As Green Bay's come back and taken a lead up 1-20-19 with about a couple minutes to play. The Lions are going to be the Jags. They're up 33-14 right now. Minnesota's up 27-15 on the Jets. Washington just scored, tied at 20 with $1:45 to play. The Eagles are going to blow out the Titans. They still got a full quarter to play, though. It's 35-10. And Denver, another one-score game for them, too, up 9-3 at Baltimore with 2.5 to play. And Cleveland should win at Houston 24-8. Still got half a quarter left, though. And then we have 19-16 here, so. Yeah, Pittsburgh's going to have to win this game if they want to stay in division. Let alone the wild card. What's going to screw them over is they got swept by the AFC East. And all those teams are still, at 500 or better right now. Yeah, because both Pittsburgh and Cleveland are 4-7. They both won. They get to 5-7. They played on Thursday night, week 3. Cleveland won. So they have a head-to-head right now, but they play week 18 still. But then Baltimore's down at home, 9-3 against Denver, and the Bengals play at home against the Chiefs coming up in about an hour, or less than that now. But yeah, Atlanta down. They're in the mix in the NFC South, I might add as well. Tampa and New Orleans play tomorrow night, and Carolina's on a bye, so 2 minutes to play. 2nd and 8 for the Steelers, though. 19-16 lead. Run the ball. Work clock. Atlanta's going to call her timeouts, though. But Pittsburgh's really just going to need to get probably maybe 2 first downs. This game should be over. 2nd and 8 out of the gun. They'll throw it. Pickett. Complete. Deontay Johnson, 1st and 10 Steelers with a 39. Atlanta timeout. Minute 52 to play. Now run the ball. Run the damn ball.
Ben was throwing him the ball, and he was putting up some nice record-breaking numbers. Just so frustrating. I know if you're on the other side, that was a dual side going. That's a first down ball our end.
And James, how about the confidence in Kenny Pickett that they have to throw that ball on second down and 8?
Exactly. And I think what Kenny Pickett was told, if this pass is not wide open,
Got Missouri and Wake Forest in the Gasparilla Bowl, Duke UCF in the Military Bowl. Illinois is going to Tampa to play in the Outback Bowl, now known as the whatever the hell it's called bowl. They'll take on either South Carolina or Mississippi State, and then NC State, Maryland in the Mayo Bowl. So those continue to come through. But 1st and 10, Pittsburgh from the 39, handoff Najee Harris. Spins, gets 5, maybe 6. And another timeout by Atlanta. They'll have 1 left with 1:47 to play. So they get a first down. This game's over.
I'll tell you what, we spoke at the beginning of the week, James, and neither one of us really thought that Harris would
Yeah, they get a first down. This game's over here.
this game after he left early on Monday. But I don't think you can say he has been running hard for Pittsburgh all game long.
I'm going to be honest, just like you, I thought it was going to be the Benny Snell show again. But it really has been a big boost, I think, for their team. They realize that Najee Harris has gone after that game, he's gone to the hospital. And then they saw him in practice on Friday. They said, he's pretty good. But I'll go Friday.
2nd and 5 coming up, 1:47 to play. They get a first down. They still could call a timeout, but then you can just kneel it. The game's going to be over. Just get a first down. So 2nd and 5 from the 34. They'll run it again. Najee Harris, about a yard, if that. 3rd down, another timeout by Atlanta. 1:40 to play. So now, back to what I was saying, wouldn't be shocked if they run some play action. Now would be that time. And you know who I'm going to, and that's Pat Freiermuth. But Zach Gentry has a catch on this drive. Hayward has a touchdown. Okay, Deontay Johnson has played all right today. Pickens only has 1 catch. Boykin's been in there. They've, gotten the ball to Gunner a little bit, but Steven Sims would be the guy I'd watch out for right now. He would be. If Jalen Warren and Benny Snell aren't in, which doesn't look like they are because Najee's in a tailback, maybe you run a screen. 3rd and 5 for Pittsburgh here. Yeah, you kick the field goal if you don't get the first down here, for sure. But hopefully you get the first down and then the game's over. So 3rd and 5 here. We'll see what happens. Here we go. Pickett going to be under center. And they'll run a play action. They'll run a bootleg. Pickett going to run. And Kenny Pickett going to slide inbound. So the clock's going to roll. Might have lost a half yard, but clock's going to run. Atlanta can't stop. They have no timeouts. So Pittsburgh's going to drain this clock to about 54 seconds, give or take, and call a timeout, and then kick a field goal. Yeah, about a 53-yard field goal to go up 6, and then the Falcons would get the ball back under a minute, no timeouts, needing a touchdown to win it. So then the Steeler defense is going to have to win the Steelers the game again today. God damn. Oh, shit. They're going to take a delay game and punt it rather than kick the field goal. As today, 5 made field goals of 45 yards or more, which is tied for the most in NFL history. I might add as well. So, all right, Pittsburgh's going to be content. They think they're comfortable enough with a 3-point lead at 19-16. They'll take a delay game, punt, pin the Falcons deep, make them drive, field goal to tie, touchdown to win. With 53 seconds to play, but the Falcons don't have any timeouts, so they're going to get the hell out of bounds. So this Steeler defense going to have to bring the steel curtain down. T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, Miles Jack hasn't played half bad today. Okay? But where's Highsmith at? Where's Devin Bush at? Even as Pittsburgh punts, It'll be down inside the 5 at the 2. So Atlanta's going to have to go 98 for a game-winning touchdown, let alone, a good 60, 65, 70 for a tie field goal to force overtime. 42 seconds, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh downs them at the 2. But even in the back end, because they're going to be throwing. So bring pressure, force mistakes. They haven't turned it over yet. Still have yet to have a turnover because that Steeler fumble was incomplete then. But Levi Wallace, Millette, Pierre, even Terrell Edmonds, for God's sakes. 1st and 10 Atlanta from the 2. They got a ways to go, though. They're down 3, 19-16 here. 42 seconds to play. They have no timeouts. Mariota's pass picked off. Minkah Fitzpatrick, and he could have ran it in for a pick 6, but he runs out of bounds at the 5-yard line. All Pittsburgh has to do is take a knee and the game's over, and the Steelers are going to beat the Falcons 19-16. 2 straight. Another one-score game, but they've won 3 of 4 coming off a bye. They'll get to 5 and 7, and they're still in it. And Baltimore's coming in next week. That's why I've said if they can take care of business, maybe get some help at the end of the year, but take care of business, win these winnable games, they're going to be in it. And they still got a pulse. They still got a chance. Now, why didn't run it in? Even if you would have ran it in, they'd still be down 10. Be a 2-score game with, under 30 seconds. Seen crazier shit happen, but you just run out of bounds, take a knee, clock's going to run out, game's over. So all Pittsburgh has to do here is take a knee, and the game's over, and the Steelers are going to win 19-16. Steelers hit the Falcons with a coup de grace, and win here to begin December. They're going to give us bonus coverage, I might add, on CBS, but the Steelers win 19-16. Steelers win it by 3. Squeak it out, another win. Only scored once. And it was a Connor Hayward touchdown in the first half. They kicked 4 field goals and had a touchdown. Punted twice in the fourth quarter, but the defense got the job done. So Pittsburgh wins it 19-16. They're 5 and 7. And of their next 5 games, 3 of them are against divisional opponents. They take care of business, maybe get some help, plus win the other winnable games. They should be all right, I'm telling you. Thought they'd be 6 and 6 going into Baltimore next week. They're going to be 5 and 7 though, because they lost to the Bengals 2 weeks ago. But 2 straight, 3 of 4 coming off a bye. If only they win the close games they should have won earlier this year, who the hell knows where they're at. A couple more wins, of course, you would think. But, yeah, they give us bonus coverage. It'll be Jets, Vikings, 27-22. Minnesota with 6.5 to play. Fox, turn that on now, following the selection show. Philly going to win 35-10 against Tennessee. They still got about 8 minutes to play, though, too, so we still could have more scoring. But we're going to overtime. Washington, New York, tied at 20. Baltimore just scored. Of course they did. They're up 10-9 now on Denver. Cleveland's going to beat Houston. Detroit's going to beat Jacksonville. The Packers scored again. Bears have the ball, though, down 9, so a 2-score game will enter them into play. So Green Bay is going to win. So we got a bonus coverage game on CBS following the Steelers win against the Falcons 19-16. It is Jets-Vikings now. And now an overtime game on Fox with Washington and New York, 2020. So we'll stay on until we go final, and then I'll be back on about 2 hours or so for the second half of the, unless it's a blowout in the first half, which it shouldn't be, an AFC Championship game rematch with the Chiefs and Bengals. So, see what happens here. 3rd and long. Minnesota ball at 5, 6 minutes to play. But then overtime in the NFC East tied at 20 with the Skins and Giants. But, man, Pittsburgh, they win it. They squeak it out. They hold on. Relying on special teams. Matthew Wright, 4-4 on field goals. And then the defense, no turnover there. And didn't I say earlier, you might not believe me now if you're just not tuning in, but didn't I say earlier, hey, I have a feeling about a turnover. And we had one turnover, and it was, last play of the game before the kneel down. Could have been a pick six, but, they decided to just run out of bounds because they can run the clock out then. They didn't need to score. And they cover even as a 1-point favorite. They win by 3. 19-16 your final score. Steelers win. They're 5-7. But in the meantime, it looks like Baltimore is going to win unless Denver kicks a game-winning field goal. And Cleveland's going to win, so they'll also be 5-7. So Pittsburgh going to be tied with the Browns still in last place in the AFC North. And then we'll have to see what happens with the Chiefs and Bengals. Would honestly like Kansas City to win that game. It's still like Denver to try to find a way to win, this game. And then there's still a game and a half, 2-game difference. But you still got 5 games to play. And Pittsburgh still got to play Baltimore twice and Cleveland once. The 2 games that are still winnable, they go to Carolina in 2 weeks, and then they get the Raiders at home on Christmas Eve night. Never say never, though. That's why the game is played, of course. I would think they find a way to win those games, though, too. Go winless against the AFC East, but then maybe sweep the NFC South. Like, if only they maybe split 2-2 with the AFC East, that's where they get their help. But, they're in this position they're in because they're 5-7, but they've won 2 straight and 3 of 4 now. Those right before Christmas and Christmas weekend, those 2 games right there would be where, if Pittsburgh can win those, would be when they could get the most help, potentially, looking ahead. But even then, in the final weeks of the season, too, they win those, head-to-head then, and then, maybe get some help elsewhere as well. They're 5-7. They can still only afford one more loss and then have to win out to keep a winning record, have a winning season. Because even if they would make the playoffs, they'd probably lose. So, you want to try to win as, many games as you possibly can. And they're getting hot. They're finding ways to win. And you know how the Steeler-Raven game goes, especially in Pittsburgh. So I'm telling you right now, don't be shocked the Steelers beat the Ravens next week. They split with the Bengals already. As long as they split with the Browns and split with the Ravens in as well, but maybe sweep them, with the way they're playing right now, should be a close game next week. Once again, as long as Pittsburgh can take care of business, they'll be all right. But just looking ahead, do you want a winning record, or do you want to make the playoffs? Well, you're going to have to make the playoffs with a winning record in the AFC, not in the NFC, because you finish below 500, you're for sure not making the playoffs. So, get to a winning record, and then if you sneak in the playoffs like you did last year, okay, so be it. And then we'll go from there. But hope to win those games too. But I highly doubt they would. But that's now we'll see what happens over the course of time. But they win it 19-16. They controlled the clock again today. They did. They ran the ball extremely well for the 4th straight game, coming off of a bye week. So they've made that a priority to run the football and try to control the game as much as they can try to control it. And Najee Harris had 86 yards rushing. They had 154 yards as a team on 37 carries. And Pickett had 1 passing touchdown on 16-28 for a $197. But even with 7 penalties, they controlled the clock by a good 5 minutes. They're 50% on 3rd down. They had more passing and more rushing, so more total yards overall. And then the defense with the turnover late and kneel down later, game's over. So, Steelers win 19-16. TJ Watt's had a couple quiet games there recently. Even returning from injuries, he hasn't played half bad, but it's been quiet. But they've been finding other players to step up and make plays. It's a team sport. There's no I in team, and there's no I in his name by any means, unless it's a lowercase j and then the dot. But Cam Hayward had a sack today. Miles Jack stepped up at middle backer, I thought. Minka with the INT late. Millette and James Pierre are making stops in the back end, pretty consistently now at this point. Levi Wallace, got banged up earlier, but didn't have that bad of a game. Sutton played pretty damn good. Spillane had a couple tackles there late. So they're coming together. And they're seemingly playing, not necessarily a complete team, but they're just finding ways to win now. They won 3 or 4. And they should have beat Cincinnati, to be honest with you, again. They lose by 7 when they had to settle for 3 a bunch, just like they did last week and today again as well. But they won these 2 games. They score touchdowns rather than settle for 3 against the Bengals. They win that game as well, and then they've won 4 straight coming off of a bye. And they're 6-6 as I thought they'd be, but they're 5-7. They're going to have to definitely at least beat Baltimore once, whether that's next week or on New Year's. They're going to have to at least beat Baltimore once. If they beat them twice, even better. If they lose to them both times, though, well, there's your losing record in a losing season, because you'd be at 5-9, even if you would win your other 3 games and finish at 8-9. That's still below 500. It's that 17th game, so they're going to have to at least beat Baltimore once, hopefully twice, and hopefully they don't shit the bed against Carolina or the Silver and Black, which those 2 games are still going to be good. Just, expect another 1-score game with the Steelers. It's going to be down to the wire finish regardless of who they're playing, let alone who's coaching or playing. It's just how they are. But a win's a win at the end of the day. 19-16, they had, more points than their opponents. It's not golf. It's not like Oakmont was playing the Masters. The Steelers beat the Falcons 19-16. So, just offensively, if they can keep this running game up, continue to try to get the ball to their receivers. Deontay Johnson's not playing half bad, but he should be playing 10 times better than he is. George Pickens today officially had 1 catch for 2 yards, where Deontay Johnson was 5-60. And then they did get the ball to Zach Gentry for a catch for 8 yards. Connor Hayward 1 for 17 and a touchdown. That was the difference, truly. It was. Because it was 16-6 at halftime. And they kick a field goal in the second half and they win it. Whereas Atlanta came back and won the second half, but they didn't win the game. Win's a win, though. Steelers won at 19-16, but Pat Freiermuth had 3 catches, 76 yards. All that was in the first half. They went away from him after that big catch and run, but good credit to the defense, too. Covering him pretty damn good. Covering Pickens damn good as well. 1 catch, 2 yards compared to what he's had recently. Freiermuth leading the team in receiving, 3-76. Deontay Johnson, 5 catches, 60 yards. Hayward, 1-17 and a touchdown. Good to see Jalen Warren back. He had 2 catches, 14 yards, along with a carry for 5 yards. Najee, 17 carries, 86 yards rushing. Benny Snell, 6-24. Pickett, 7-14 scrambling with 16-28 passing, 197 yards and a touchdown, and not sacked at all. And then defensively, Minka led the team in total tackles, with 5 of those being solo, of course. Had the interception there late as well. Steven Sims is somebody I think moving forward, they need to get the ball to a little bit more now. he's truly the number 3 receiver behind Deontay Johnson and George Pickens at this point. After they traded Claypool, the way it's gone recently, because Miller and Austin have been done, Boykin just out there not doing anything. Gunner's getting it every once in a while, but Steven Sims, yeah, he's truly number 3 receiver, but truly number 3 receiver is Pat Fryman, the tight end. But at times the number 1 receiver, and rightfully so. They need to get him the ball a little bit more too. But though the defense played, overall pretty good. They made stops when they had to. They had an interception late, and they won the game for the most part. Because what if Atlanta drives and scores? Well, game's over. Falcons win, Steelers lose. Let alone kick a field goal if they get in field goal range, tied for us overtime. So, Matthew Wright, 4-4 on field goals. He had 13 of the Steelers' 19 points. For God's sakes, I mean, come on now. So, MVP of the game, special teams, Matthew Wright. And then, Najee Harris in the running game. And Pickett, keeping it, for the most part, consistent offensively. They scored on all offensive drives except for the last 2 when they had to punt. And both were in the fourth quarter. They just need to get the ball to Freiermuth more. They need to get Sims more involved in the offense, I think. Continue to run the football. The offensive line, okay, a couple penalties with some false starts, delay a game, just stupid shit they need to clean up. Had hands in the face and illegal touching and illegal contact and shit like that. But, nothing real major. But then even when you gave that up, they went backwards. Or even when you did, something wrong, you tried to get out of it. You just found a way to win, and they win at 19-16. If only, talk about special teams, the return game was 10 times better for the Steelers. They kept Cordell Patterson out of this game. He finished officially as Mariota was 13 of 24 for 167 yards, had the touchdown to Michael Pruitt, 1 catch, 7 yards, and touchdown for him. Of course, Mariota with 1 sack by Cam Hayward, and then threw the pick to Minka. Patterson didn't have a catch, let alone a return. But he did have 11 carries, 60 yards rushing, and that led the team. Because Tyler Algier had 10 carries, 52 yards rushing. So, they kept the ball away from him for the most part, as much as they could. And they did what they had to do. And, they found a way to win. And Steelers win at 19-16 against the Atlanta Falcons. The Packers win at Chicago, 28-19. So Aaron Rodgers still owns the Bears. The Lions beat the Jaguars 40-14. And then the Ravens, with that late touchdown, down 9-3, they win at 10-9 at home against the Denver Broncos. Seahawks-Rams just kicked off, as did Miami and San Fran. Dolphins already up 7-0. What the hell did they return? A kickoff return for a touchdown? And then still 27-22 here. Vikings up 5. Minute 43 to play. They got 3 timeouts. But as they went for it on 4th and goal from the 1, it's incomplete in the end zone. Turnover on downs. Be 1st and 10. Minnesota. So they're going to try to run the clock out. We're still in overtime, tied at 20 with 2:38 and counting to play in OT with Washington, New York. So if they tie, they tie. Philly's going to beat Tennessee 35-10. The Browns are going to beat the Texans. It's 27-14 now. So to kick off, Chiefs, Bengals, Chargers, Raiders, Colts, Cowboys, and Saints, Bucks. And, of course, those last 2 on Sunday Monday Night Football. But it would be a big win here for Pittsburgh if Minnesota can beat the Jets. Because then, they'd still be down 2 in the wild card at 5-7. The Jets fall to 7-5 with a loss. But then also you look around the league, standing-wise, Because, I mean, if Pittsburgh takes care of business in the division, they still could win the North. I highly doubt it, though. But the only way they make the playoffs is as a wild card. You know, and where they're dug in at is getting swept by, you know, the AFC East, losing to the Patriots, the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins. You know, so Buffalo beat New England Thursday night was good. You know, they're only a game behind the Patriots now. But even with a head-to-head, they're still only a game behind. You know, Miami's at San Fran right now, so you need the Chiefs to win. The Titans are the only team going to come out of the South. They have a head-to-head against the Colts, who play at Dallas, and the Cowboys should win that game anyway. And then it's out west, and they play the Raiders still, but then the Chargers could be the team to watch out for ahead of Pittsburgh in the wild card. Yeah, you got to watch out, at least for the 7 seed for Pittsburgh to get to the playoffs potentially. I would have to think as the Jets, the Patriots, potentially whoever doesn't win the North and finishes second, let alone the Chargers and the Raiders. Yeah, just looking ahead a little bit, but you still got to take care of business yourself. You do. And then that's when you can ask for help. Because if you're not taking care of business to begin with, what's the point of the help? But yeah, 19-16 your final score. And they'll host Baltimore now next Sunday. And then go to Carolina. And then host the Raiders on Christmas Eve night. So that's from now until Christmas. And then they get into the New Year. But just once again, continue to take care of business. They'll be all right. You know, wins a win today. They win at 19-16. Eagles officially win. As well as the Bills, Steelers, Eagles, Packers, Lions, and Ravens have all won this week. With the Browns on top of that now as well. So that's the thing. Like, Baltimore won. They're 8-4. Both Pittsburgh and Cleveland won. They're both 5-7. Cincinnati still has to play. If they win, they'd be 8-4. So then everybody wins, and then everybody stays put. Baltimore's going to be hoping Cincinnati loses because they already have a head-to-head win on them. Might add on Sunday night on a game on field goal earlier this year, too. But we'll see what happens. Of course, it's why they play the game. It's out on paper. It's out on field. So, if the Bills won Thursday night, Steelers won today, as do the Eagles, Browns, Packers, Lions, and Ravens. Dolphins up 7-0 at San Fran. Rams up at home 7 on the Seahawks without Matthew Stafford. Chiefs Bengals kick off in about 10 minutes, just like Chargers Raiders. Sunday Night Football, Colts Cowboys, Monday Night Football, Bucks Saints. But okay, these two games we have on right now with bonus coverage. Vikings up 27-22 at home against the Jets and tied in overtime at 20 with under 2 to play, with Washington and New York are the lone 2 1 o'clock games still on. Yeah, so 6 games have already gone final today, and there were 8 games at once. To do the math, these two are the last 2 left, and then 2 on at 4 right now, 2 going to be on here at 4:30, and then Sunday night, Monday night. 49ers with a field goal, 7-3 Dolphins. Rams 7-0 against Seahawks, as mentioned, but 27-22 Vikings. Jets have the ball back with a minute to play, no timeouts, need a touchdown to win it. 2nd and 4 from the 37. And Mike White's pass is complete, first down inside the 20 for Jets. And then we're still tied at 20 in overtime here. Next score wins the game with Washington, New York. Minute 42 to play, so both games coming down the wire. We'll see what it gives. Clock's running, 35 seconds. 1st and 10, New York from the 19. Touchdown wins the game. Whereas the next score in overtime with New York and Washington wins the game. The Giants got a 4th and 2. And they got to go for it from the 45 because they're not going to kick a field goal. It's a delay game. Do you punt? Do you go for it? In a tough situation. Washington coming off of a win last week. Of course, the Giants lost at Dallas on Thanksgiving. And the Giants are going to punt. So next we're going to win the game. And the Washington Redskins football team Commanders are going to have a chance to win it. And this might come back down into play with, the NFC East with who's winning the division, let alone who's, making it out as a wild card. So incomplete over the middle. Be second down, third down for the Jets. Giants punt. Washington getting the ball back. Minute 36. Next score wins. Field goal, touchdown, defense touchdown. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. But 3rd and 10 for the Jets from the 19 in the meantime in this game on CBS. Jets, Vikings, and Skins, Giants. Roll out Mike White. Pump fakes. And it'll be incomplete. So I'll have to go for it. Field goal ain't going to cut it. Here's your ball game in this game. And then bonus coverage on Fox after Titans-Eagles, as we were watching, is now Washington in New York, tied at 20 in OT. Heineke gets sacked at the 1. Oh, that was close. Safety would have won it because next score wins the game. Now we got a second long. It looks like this game is going to fucking tie. Get 99 yards and a hell of a lot of problems to win this game. It looks like Washington and New York are going to tie. 4th and 10. Here's your ball game with the Jets and Vikings. Mike White in the end zone will be picked off at the goal line. Vikings win. They get to 10-2. Beat the Jets now 27-22. They'll take a knee, 10 seconds, but Jets can't stop it. No timeout. So that's your game. Vikings win on bonus coverage 27-22 against the Jets. Next score wins the game on Fox, though. Bonus coverage as well. Washington and New York tied at 20. Washington's got 99 yards to go for a touchdown, let alone get field goal range. Next score wins the game. We're tied at 20 in overtime. A lot of one-score games again. Close football. Low-scoring defense showdown, run the ball. My type of game. 2nd down and long for Washington. Just don't throw a pick six. No sack for a safety. They'll hand off on the draw. Brian Robinson shoots his way for about a 3rd and 7. Fumbles out of bounds, but clock stops. They'll keep it 3rd down, minute 23. The Giants will still get the ball back here, potentially getting field goal range themselves. So the Vikings win.
In the 2 spot in the NFC, the Jets still have that
27-22. So they stole the Jets. It is crowded. A lot of 7, 8, 9, 10 win teams. 11 win team now as well. All right, so that's bonus coverage. Yeah, they'll take us to Cincinnati for the Chiefs and Bengals shortly, but on Fox, bonus coverage and OT tied at 20 with Washington and New York timeout on the field. We'll sign off here shortly and then be back on about 6 o'clock for the second half with the Chief-Bengal game that's going to kick off here shortly. So we'll leave it at that. Still 7-0 Rams on top of the Seahawks. Dolphins 7-3 at San Fran. Chiefs, Bengals, Chargers, Raiders still to kick off along with Sunday night, Monday Night Football. With the Vikings, Eagles, Browns, Packers, Lions, Ravens win today along with the Bills on Thursday night, 24-10 at New England. And then the Steelers won at Atlanta as well. 19-16 your final score. But we are tied in overtime, still at 20. Giants don't have any timeouts to stop the clock either, but Washington's got a punt. Washington has a timeout. They're not going to call it, though. Under a minute to play in overtime, still tied at 20. Next score wins the game, so maybe a punt return for a touchdown in the win. They'll drain this clock, take a delay a game, potentially. Boom it away. Yeah, take a delay game. Why the hell not? Yeah, back them up. Drain it to 37 seconds to play in OT. We're still tied at 20 with Washington and New York. Next score wins the game, so it's going to have to be a punt return.
When I think of health insurance, these 2 words don't often come up, but they do depend for things
as these two teams have tied before. It's 25 years ago. It's the last time actually two divisional opponents in the NFC tied one another, and it was Washington and New York. And they're looking to tie each other again today, 2020. And then how does this affect, with the playoff picture? Is the tie going to hurt, let alone help one or the other, if not both? 4th and 5, Washington punts. And the Giants, with no timeouts, going to field it and return to about the 43-yard line. So got 57 yards for a touchdown, a little shorter, of course, for a field goal. But no timeouts, 28 seconds. Next score wins this game. We had a tie week 1. Almost had 2 ties week 1 with the same score. And the tie week 1, I might add, was 2020. The other one could have been the Steeler-Bengal game, but the Steelers win in overtime as time expires 23-20. Now, if Boswell would have missed that field goal, it would have ended in a tie as well. But we're in overtime. Tied at 20, 28 seconds. 1st and 10 Giants. Is this game going to end in a tie? Or a Giant win on a game-winning touchdown, let alone a field goal, let alone a defense touchdown for Washington? They win it. Daniel Jones, pass complete. Got to clock it, got to spike it. 15 seconds, 1st and 10. And they're right on the cusp of field goal range. Oh, my God. So Washington going to call timeout in the meantime, I think, too. Even though they clocked it. They want to make sure they're set. All right. Yeah. 15 seconds, 20-20 in OT. 2nd and 10 for the Giants. Next score wins the game. They take this to Cincinnati. Chiefs, Bengals, an AFC Championship rematch today. They met New Year's weekend in Cincy last year as well, and the game came down to the wire. Final play. Bengals win then. Bengals win in the it's title game as well. And, of course, then lost to the Rams in the Super Bowl. But Chiefs-Bengals kick off shortly, and we'll be back on for the second half of this game later on. But still in overtime, tied at 20. 3rd and 7 now for the Giants. Next score wins the game as the kicker gets warmed up on the sideline. But they have no timeouts, 10 seconds. They get stopped in bounds, game's over. It's going to tie. So they got to get the hell out of bounds. From the 40, 3rd and 7. Daniel Jones throws it away out of bounds, incomplete. So clock stops with 5 seconds. And they're either going to heave it or kick about a 57, 58-yard field goal for the win. They'll kick it. Can't ice him either. But if he makes it, the Giants win. He misses. Unless Washington returns it for a kick 6, they'd win. He misses. We're going to tie at 20-20 with Washington and New York today. 58-yard field goal as time expires in overtime for the win. He misses. We tie. Let alone a block field goal return for a touchdown or a kick 6 of some sort. 58-yard field goal up and no good. Washington and New York tie at 20. Final overtime. We tie 20-20 with the Skins Commanders. It used to be a football team against Big Blue, the New York Football Giants. 20-20, your final score. Oh my God. And nobody knows what to think. They tie 20-20. The NFL needs to change the overtime rule. Not because of this or, just what you play until you have a winner. Nobody needs a tie. It's 2022. It's not 1922 anymore. Just like in the playoffs, you play till you have a winner. It needs to be like that in the regular season as well. Good God. 20-20 your final score. The Washington Redskins, formerly a football team, now Commanders, and the New York Giants tie 20 apiece. 20-20. All right. So, already a crazy weekend. Bills won on Thursday night. Had 2 one-score games at 1 o'clock along with a tie game. make it 3 one-score games at 1 o'clock and a tie game at 20 apiece. Both 4:30 games are underway. Got a tie game 7-7 with Seattle and LA, and Miami leads San Fran 7-3. Sunday night, Monday Night Football still kickoff, but we'll talk about all this a little bit later on and preview next week, because we'll be back on live here for the second half of this Chief-Bengal game that just kicked off. Cincinnati has the ball, but we're tied at 0 a minute in, so we'll see Burrow and Mahomes in an AFC Championship game rematch shortly. In the meantime, the Steelers beat the Falcons 19-16 today. The college football playoff revealed as Georgia will play Ohio State and Michigan will play TCU in the Peach and Fiesta Bowl respectively, and Penn State's going to the Rose Bowl to play Utah. As USC will also play Tulane in the Cotton Bowl, Alabama, Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl, and Clemson, Tennessee in the Orange Bowl. And then the rest of the bowl games, as we were going back and forth with that earlier, they're being filled out. So we'll have more updates on that later on. Have a bowl preview and such as always. But just once again, in the meantime, thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. I'll see everybody shortly for the second half of this Chief-Bengal game that just kicked off once again. And we'll recap and preview then. And then be sure to keep an eye out for upcoming videos. And be sure to tune in next weekend as well with the Steelers hosting the Ravens a week from now, next Sunday. So, as always, here we go Steelers, but win's a win. They win it by 3 at Atlanta, 19-16 your final score. But in the meantime, that'll do it for myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Quinn, Luke 96. Thanks once again for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Press the subscribe button, notification bell next to it as well. And I'll see everybody soon, super shortly, for more live streaming, more live watch-along reactions live right here on YouTube. But be sure to subscribe, whether it's a normal video being published, a live stream, anything in between. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And Steelers win 19-16 your final score. They beat the Falcons. And now have won 2 straight, 3 or 4. And talked about that game with good, bad, in between, and thank God for Matthew Wright. So, even Boswell, if he'd be in there, thank God for special teams. You always got to rely on them as much as you don't want to at times. You have to. Just if only, make those field goals touchdowns, it's not a one-score game again. But win's a win at the end of the day, and they win at 19-16 your final score. Steelers beat the Falcons. But yeah, once again, that'll do it. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. And yeah, I'll see everybody shortly. So Steelers win at 19-16 against the Falcons. Here we go, Steelers.